Okay, welcome back to our D&D game, first session in the year. We are up to session number 125, or Phase 3, Season 2, Episode 18. It is the first day of the 6th month of the year 1011, and all characters are level 12. Today we have joining us Jeremy.
Good evening all, yes, I'm playing Dimitros, grew up as a humble Colorado peasant, but now he's able to provide guidance and wisdom to the world, having to take his more proper place by becoming a noble of the realm, not to mention Emperor Hollow World, and the likely avatar of Halav. Not that you talk about that stuff at all, because obviously that's irrelevant and not that we need to know that. Otherwise, he's just here to help.
I thought he was just going to head towards all that's unimportant because I'm really just the god of knowledge.
When it comes down to it, all that's unimportant because I'm really Demetrius.
So how do you end up being the Emperor of the Hollow World?
Emperor of Melody.
He's the former emperor of the Hollow World nation known as the Millennium Empire.
Right.
He handed it back.
Apparently he didn't like the job description.
Well, I mean, half the reason we were there was to save someone who could take his place. Rescue them.
Next person we have today is Martin.
I'm playing a wood elf, half of the Kenzai monk. I tend to use 2 longswords or a longbow, and that's probably so I'm quite tall, and I'm quite wise and have high constitution as well, and dexterity is my highest stat. That's all.
Next person we have online today is Sean.
I'm playing as Genric, the High Elf Druid, who has a rat infestation and not happy about it. And he specializes in fire magic, which has never caused any problems for the group.
No, never.
I'm sure there's a notation here or there about fire magic and its uses.
Yes.
And last on today we have is Rhiannon.
Hi, I'm playing Hildren, the Air Genasi Ranger Cleric, who is currently trying to keep everybody else on track.
Go on, Dimitri goes away.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure Dimitri does. As it turns out, we have one less person ongoing, and we haven't heard from Elliot to see if he's able to make it or not. Did he? Do you remember if he said last year if he could make it?
He didn't say he couldn't. Last I heard, he couldn't make the last session because he was on a plane. I haven't heard anything since.
Neither have I. I did send him a message to go, can you make today? But
You didn't try and get the last off, did he?
Okay, so Did anyone want to do a recap of last session?
Oh, Dimitri?
Oh, Rhiannon.
I'm not sure you want me to. I think I'm like 9 pages of notes.
I leave it up to you to how you'd like to summarize or go deep.
So we started at Dimitri's estate, in Dimitrov, and we all did a bit of research and stuff, and played around and did some prep there. Then and learned all sorts of things about all of us.
It's flammable.
More about Trellin's monastery of Trellin and his acolytes, which I find very interesting.
Yes.
We travelled down the West Run Road to Specularum with no issues. We arrived at Specularum, which was decked out for coronation, with peasant people from all over the place, including the elves of Alfheim, Darrakan, the Five Shires, but there was nobody from Theatos, or... Yes. We met a very obnoxious man who Hildren and a few other people decided to torment as much as possible.
You're not Dimitri for ages.
Yeah, well, Dimitri isn't sexist, so there you go. Yes. We met a couple of influential people around the place. Just scanning through, sorry guys.
All good.
We heard about the Lake of Lost Dreams, which I think is going to be important, particularly by the sounds of it for Gamrik's stuff.
First time Gamrick remembers hearing about it.
Yes, but it seems relevant. Was it Taladon who's setting up the university?
Taladon is effectively Arch Chancellor of the current Specularum Wizard or Mages Guild, but he's actually turning into a university, so...
And he approached each of us to talk about visiting or teaching regularly and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
There was a lot of nobles putting digs in on Dimitri, and Dimitri just shrugging it off. We had the hunt that Hildren bit a tongue and kept away from, very sadly. And the winner came back after winning despite obvious sexism by the judges. And then we had another night of celebration. And then we had the coronation on the night of the new moon and lunar change. I've got here, I can't remember his name, but he's recorded in my notes as Bastard Ambassador, was having a bad day. The Duke had his procession, all went well with that. It was the grand ball. There was something about Dimitri's prophecy and Dimitri not being able to enter Galantry, which was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then the focus was on, as the first court of King Stefan was on gathering forces to form an army to send to Darrakan to fight against the Master. So Dimitri and Trellin were focused on getting up their forces for their lands as lords of the land. Genrick became a representative of the Chossum elves, Chossum clan, at King's Court. And oh yeah, we were also all offered a boon by King Stefan. And the idea was that I think Dimitri was staying at his place, and focusing on getting his forces ready. Trellin was visiting or staying with at his monastery. I'm not sure how long he would have stayed there.
I'm not sure how long it takes to get into the Feywild, but that's where the monastery is.
Oh, cool! I didn't know it was in the Feywild. But yeah, so he was.
Easily.
He was focused on getting forces from him. I was traveling around all over the place to help support a whole heap of different places and see what I can do. And I'm trying to remember what Genrick was going to do. I think you were going with the Chossum elves and trying to help them settle.
He was helping them settle and trying to get rid of his rat problem, or trying to figure out if he could get rid of it.
Yes. That seems to be a priority for you a lot. So that is a very basic summary based on me skimming my notes. I hope I didn't miss anything too important.
I'm sure they'll find out.
The important thing is Dimitri thought the coronation went smoothly.
Oh yes, it was all Dimitri's doing. Oh, and I also meant to point out I now have a cleric die. I have a die from a character who's a cleric, so hopefully my religion rolls will improve.
Nice.
So that does help. Okay, so your characters will have spent a month of downtime, which means that the time will actually jump from the 1st of the 6th to the 1st of the 7th. Did anyone want to alter what they were doing over that month? We'll start off with Jeremy.
Okay, I think that the basically my well, let's see what they will do, but the pagan equivalent that I'm going to be sending to the front line is appropriately equipped and have all the bits and pieces it needs.
Well,
otherwise, doing research and big features at his library.
it's going to take you close to 6 months to form your unit that you need to send off. It's not quick to build up a army of militia. But you will have most likely spent most of the first month doing the gathering people and
sending out the call, putting out the call for appropriate young people. Because obviously it might be hard to find people because everyone's looking for them right now.
And of course, delegating to others to be able to handle it when you go off to do your own thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, but yeah, otherwise, doing a big piece of research and continuing on.
And how about Trellin? Is he doing anything different besides going to the Feywild and trying to gather his own army?
I think that's the main function. I want to make sure the Fatal Clan is prepared. So if that means concentrating on them, then that's what I'll do.
Okay, so that means that Genrick will be doing the same thing with the Chossum clan?
Yes.
And so what's Hilderon going to be doing again during that time?
I'm basically traveling between Specularum, probably visiting Dimitri at his place. If I can get to Trellin's monastery, I'd be hitting up there. And also like going back to visit Lady Sashia, or Madame Sashia, and I'm trying to remember the name now. Yeah. So basically traveling around, traveling and visiting and trying to support the people she knows and has connections with. Partially because like most of her connections and like whereas Trellin and Dimitri and Generic all have like a community that they belong to. Hildren's communities in the Northern Reaches. So basically, she's working her way around trying to help and support where she can and carry messages or anything like that.
And I'm sure only once or twice some of the important characters point out that the king renamed the capital city to Miros.
That's right.
I'm sure that's only a minor thing.
I was doing the stuff for Thakov
Yeah.
and the research for that, and I'm like, but it's Specularum, but it's Miros.
Miros was the original name before Stefan took it over as Duke.
Cool.
And so now that he's become king, he's given it back to its original name to gain more support from the people.
Sweet.
And I'm sure Dimitri will going, of course, that's the name it should always have been.
It's true name.
Okay.
Although, as a player, I keep thinking it was a couple of years ago, I keep put the name in my head. I can't think what the name actually was, like in my head, kind of think of, but Miros did not sound like the name that I had in my thoughts of the original name of Special Arm, but yeah. But that's just me.
There is fun either way.
Yeah. And I mean, I quite appreciate is the element of helping and providing advice and assistance for Sheldon to get his school up and running. Okay.
I definitely would have visited him because I'm intrigued because he's an Air Genasi and I haven't met, other than my family, I haven't met many other Air Genasis.
Okay, so in meeting with him, you would definitely find him far different than most Air Genasi you've met.
Mm-hmm.
He has that air of command about him, but he doesn't have the arrogance most of them carry. Especially those from the Alphatian Empire.
He probably reminds children a lot of their dad, because he has that sort of sense of command, but he's not arrogant. So she probably sort of sees that in him.
And also of amusement, you do see the resemblance of his face on all the old Alphatian coins that are floating around the communities from when Alphatia had colonized this region.
Love it.
I would bet ask whether or not it was, or how common the knowledge was, the fact that he's the Emperor of Alphatia.
It is not particularly common, and only a few select people being told.
Yeah.
And the reason he's no longer Emperor, he would have confided in maybe Hilderon, is that he actually lost this region.
Yeah, when I said how well known, I meant within the party, like, in this, like, obviously, yes, it's not common knowledge, but I was thinking, hang on, I'm pretty certain most of the party should be aware, but I wasn't absolutely positive.
That was ex-Emperor of Alphatia, right?
Yep, he was the Emperor of the Alphatian Empire.
Like, he's father or grandfather of the current Empress?
Father of the current Empress.
Father, yeah.
Awesome.
And he is quite a few centuries past the maximum lifespan of a Genasi.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
He's probably the oldest mortal still on the planet.
Okay. I can get past the first couple of years, you're not really counting anymore.
He was young when Alphatia it's believed he was one of the Alphatians who made it to Mystara from their home plane. Making him considerably old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And said to be related to the goddess who rules over Alphatia.
That's interesting. I learned a lot about that in this Seiko session, so that's interesting.
Well, when you can live for an exceedingly long time, some people do extend it. Okay, so yes, he does have much insight, and from his opinion, war doesn't actually help anyone, which is why he was happy to help Karamikos avoid becoming part of the Alphatian-Thiatan conflict.
Yes, by helping Karamikos succeed. Yeah.
Okay, so you're into the second month of summer, as it is the first of the 7th month when you meet back up in Miros,
Yep.
having not been together for close to a month after the coronation. Did any of you think of what boon you wanted from the king, or had we settled on that last session?
I don't remember that.
I think I asked for something, but I can't remember what it was.
I have notes about what Dimitri and Trellin asked for.
Oh, that's good.
Dimitri didn't ask for anything in the public, but he was going to ask for something in private. Trellin asked for books. And I have a sentence saying Genrick asked for, and then nothing after it. I'm assuming Genrick didn't ask for anything. And I don't have anything about what I asked for.
You a placeholder, but you've missed it. There was nothing to fill in at that point in time. So.
No, and I don't think I have anything about what I asked for.
Oh, I would say that Genrick has like 2 goals right now.
Yep.
One is to find his daughter, and the other is to get rid of his curse.
So if I do daughter/curse, I'm sure I'll remember what that means.
Get rid of his daughter's curse, or the curse of his daughter. Get rid of daughter.
Well, hey, I could have the curse transferred to the daughter.
Maybe.
Doesn't that solve the problem for you?
I mean, it's all for Genrick.
Well, but he did say he had the 2 goals, find the daughter and get rid of the curse. He didn't say get rid of the curse for himself.
Yeah.
But if he passed on the daughter, technically Genrick's still affected by the curse.
True.
Assuming he hangs out with his daughter. If it was for her never find her, then you're fine.
His daughter is a full-grown elf.
How old is Genrick?
I think I said he was 180.
So that means your daughter can't be full grown yet, because technically she would still be a child if she is 80 or less. You're only considered an adult in the community after you pass the age of 100.
Okay.
Would you like to increase your character's age?
You might be a teenage father.
Possibly.
Well, luckily
I mean, it was under the implication that he had his daughter when he was 100.
Mm-hmm. In that case, then she can still be a child, or you can increase your age.
Nah, she's 80.
Yeah.
He's 76.
I'm first being adult good, but yeah.
Okay, so Jeremy, did you have anything that Dimitri would have requested?
I can't remember, and unfortunately when I was opening up my character sheet for Dimitri, I realised that somehow something I didn't save, because I noticed there were a lot of changes that I had made that weren't there, and I'm guessing that one of the additions would have been my fortnight boon, but as was mentioned, Dimitri wouldn't have been so crass as to request anything in public court.
Well, he still could have done it in private. Would he have requested something in private?
But I can't recall what I was thinking of at that time. So, I mean, let's face it, considering the fact that realistically, Stefan only set his coronation because of Dimitri, it's a bit hard for him to actually provide anything to Dimitri, because Dimitri's given everything for Stefan anyway.
What do you mean Dimitri doesn't want to be recognized as savior of the realm?
I mean, if the shoes fit, but...
A knighthood, perhaps. Sir Dimitri.
I mean, obviously that would be a minimal starting point.
Well, hey, I'm sure we can start somewhere.
Further title would be quite appropriate, and I could require anything further as well. Yeah.
I refuse to recognise his knighthood.
And how about Hilderun? Does Hilderun have anything she would like to have requested from a newly minted king?
I think Hildren would have. There wasn't any Northern Reaches presence at the coronation, was there?
No, they don't share a border, so it's not a great connection.
I think because a lot of her two main things are like her service of Zerchev, which is obviously connected to Karamikos and that area, but the other one is about exploring the world to bring home knowledge and resources and connections to the Northern Reaches. So I think in the environment that we were in, where it was like lots of diplomats and ambassadors and stuff, I think her mind might have turned to helping her homeland build resources and connections. So she probably would have looked for a way of, it's not like she's high up in the Northern Reaches, but maybe suggesting that it might be an idea to form some sort of relationship. And like the transfer of knowledge or like trading practices or stuff like that.
Well, you might have been able to do something with the Yalarum ambassador, because they do share a border with the Northern Reaches.
Is he the bastard ambassador?
I believe so.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have done that. The other one is she would have wanted to work to work into clerical status as a cleric of Zerchev and try and help educate and spread the stories, not necessarily in a structured way, but more of a, I don't know, maybe she just wanted some more stories and more information about Zerchev. And maybe considering who Zerchev is and what he does, maybe like looking for ways to connect the Fae of Karamikos with the non-Fae of Karamikos, because that's part of what Zerchev was. He was an ambassador between the two. So maybe she would have followed that and tried to find a way of building discussions and connections between the Fae of the Karamikos and the non-Fae.
Okay, you probably have learnt also of the mysterious elves of the Dimrak forest, who generally kill non-elves on sight.
Would that be the ones I know of?
The Vialian elves, yes. Unfortunately,
Yes.
they also kill non-Vialian elves, but hey, most people think they just kill non-elves.
I've actually trained with Violian elves. So Hildred knows about them because that was part of her training. She went to the Thiadan arena to fight in a gladiatorial contest to earn the right to train with the Violian elves. And that's where she met her mentor. I can't remember his name right now, but it's in my background.
Well, they would then be one of the few characters who could have met with the elves and found out why they're, what they're currently up to and what they're willing to pass back.
So maybe she sort of, the boon she asked was finding ways of creating communication between the Violian elves and the people of and Stefan, and ensuring that the Violian elves and their way of life and their area is protected, particularly with the influx of new elves.
Yep. Well, the Dimrak Forest is probably one of the wildest forests in the region. Not as wild as the Northern Reaches Forest, but still pretty fey.
She wouldn't at all assume to be the ambassador or the diplomat for the Violian elves, but she has strong connections to it, so maybe talking about discussing and ensuring their protection and their way of life.
You would also have recognized that they did have representatives at the coronation.
Cool. I can't think of anything else that she would look at. Like, it's either Zerchev, Violian elves, or connections with Northern Reaches. I really can't think of anything else. It's not like she's after money or land or anything like that. Or titles.
Most of them do not worry too much about that sort of stuff. Okay, so...
and Trellin was books?
You Trellin want anything different?
So I'd like to fill out my library. So, Fire Master,
Welcome to
Volume 2.
If you want.
There's a good chance you'll have a bunch of them expanded when I get time.
No worries.
Okay, so while you're catching back up again after having a month away, is there anything you want to pass on to each other before someone comes in and throws a spanner in your plans? Which always happens.
So how long have we got before the theoretical start of the next season of war with the Master?
Theoretically, you have 5 months.
Right, okay.
In winter, it's like mid-winter that the halflings were able to come in, so it would be about 5 months.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the sort of thing that, and have we heard, like, where is this in relation to the relaunch of the Gnomish Citadel?
The Gnomish Flying Citadel at this state is currently over the Isle of Dawn.
Right, okay, so effectively at the coronation was about the time when it took off.
That is correct.
And then it's been flying over to Isle of Dawn in the meantime, so okay.
So the Alphatians and the Thiatans are currently in the midst of battle around the Isle of Dawn.
Oh, well, they've been in the midst of battle for some time, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was just saying in my head, like, yeah, concerned where different parts of the campaign was, so...
So we're about equal where the Monday night party is.
Yeah, I figured that would be the case, but
It does
Well,
help that if
initially-
you look at the campaign page now, I have updated the Tuesday session to actually point to the Tuesday page when it's refreshed and uploaded. I forgot to upload it. Currently points to Wednesday instead of Tuesday.
Right.
Cool.
But I fixed that about an hour ago. But just hadn't uploaded it.
Maybe that'll be something that Dimitri's also then doing in that month is trying to set up a teleportation circle that would allow you to get to the Nerdy Citadel now they're flying, based upon his memories of when he was in there and helping get ready. But I'll have to look at that separately, that's all right.
So if you would have received word that it's flying.
Yeah, well, so Dimitri's in contact with, certainly all three other groups, and although being separate, he doesn't have direct contact with Adrian.
Cool.
But he does have direct contact with Burl and
Karatiku.
Yeah. Well, I can't see two yet, but I will go to, I'm going to have to message Jones with the party, the Friday night got, where is she?
You have access to Llewell in Tuesday and
Yeah, okay. Well, he's got contact with the three groups. He's part of maintaining that sort of thing. So he's gone off, and likely to take the opportunity to try and get a vision back there to say it's a bit safe to go back to the Nerdy Citadel after it's left Alphasia.
well, it's
Well, he was talking to Llewell with Saker and who was with me when I saw the teleportation circles? Was it Saker and Calcrix?
I believe it would have been the whole party at some point, but I believe you were looking at it with Calcrix because the dragon was the curious one wanting to learn everything.
So, yeah, like, would Llewell have been able to help Dimitri with that teleportation circle stuff?
He would, except I'm not sure he could actually tell Dimitri what runes were used.
Cool.
Yeah, no,
It was just an interesting thought.
He can tell him the word that was used, he just can't tell him what rune was used because he gets an automatic translation of any written word.
Ah.
So it's like when you have Google Translate up and running and it just covers up the word with a different word.
Yeah.
Which means that because it's not the same word used, it doesn't actually connect as a teleportation circle.
Yeah.
Cool.
And actually, looking at his list right, and technically his list actually, his scroll still changed when we've done downtime because he's got some more things. But yeah, right now he's only got teleportation circle. I don't know teleport. The teleport like a harder spell now that
Teleportation circle is the better spell than teleport because teleport will not connect to certain places, but teleportation circle will.
yeah, but the teleportation circle only connects to another teleportation circle.
Yep, that's where the where you can connect to moving things, whereas a teleport cannot connect to a moving thing unless it's using the actual destination properly, and it can't.
You don't have the role to figure out if the teleportation worked. Teleportation circle works.
Yeah. So, but anyway, it'll be something I'll work into the downtime activities during that period.
But I'm sure once he hears about it, he'll just ask Drazzle, did he draw a picture?
It's not like Dimitri has spent significant time in the Citadel helping Redgreen get up and running again, and so therefore, and because he's gotten an eidetic memory, he can remember effectively a room or something like that that would be potentially a teleportation site. under the old rules of teleportation. I don't know who went to fit their boat for a long time, or ever, probably. But likely he was potentially aware that there were actually further teleportation circles within the city, so therefore, again.
Would he have been? Because they were with the gremlins. Did Dimitri interact with the gremlins?
He never met them while he was there.
No. And that's fine too, like obviously she didn't think that's fine too. Yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah, anyway, absolutely, that was good.
I don't think Hildren really had much to share with the others because she was in fairly frequent contact with all of them. So, like, if I could have, the only one I'm not sure I would have been in contact with was Trellin. Just because I'm not sure I would have been able to get into the Feywild.
Yes, because both of the main forests have doorways to the Feywild.
Cool. Yes. And if I have connections with the Vile and Elves, then I probably would have been able to get there somehow. So yeah, I've just been travelling between them, so I don't think there's anything in particular I would have needed to catch them up on.
Cool.
Probably the constant stalking of devil swine of wherever you're going, showing up wherever you've been.
I'm not sure if I would have shared that too much, but yes, I am very conscious of the stalking by the devil swine.
Okay, so as a party, do you have a preference to face a dragon, face a vampire, or face a fiend?
Dragon sounds like fun.
Well, my belt gives me well, how should I put it? A vested interest in smashing dragonkind.
I am fairly well set up for fighting huge creatures. With some of my ranger stuff. But as a cleric, I'd also quite happily be able to try and go against the undead of the vampire or the fiend. So it doesn't really bother me.
Obviously you should go for the unnatural creature of this world and go for the fiend.
Okay.
Probably, potentially, that might also be a case of following up on ensuring that what was his name? The firefly, the plague that we just were facing off.
Ashen King?
Ashen King, that's one, yes. I think he's Fire King, I think that's right. Yeah, Ashen King. It may be important to be able to. It's a very related to him at all, and we want to keep him down. Okay.
So,
but then,
fiends?
Go on.
Devil's Swine and stuff, are they fiends or are they... Trying to remember, because I know there's a difference between the devils and the... Oh god, I'm blanking. The devils and the demons.
Mm-hmm.
So would the Devil's Swine and stuff and Orcus be connected with fiends or demons?
It really does depend on things, because in the terms of D&D, fiends are devils and demons.
I would think the fiend kind of both of them.
As well as the Amons, which is supposed to be the neutral versions of devils and demons.
Yeah.
Story-wise and backstory-wise, Hildren would probably be very interested in the fiends then, because of her stuff around the Devil's Swine, and she has a particular Devil's Swine she's after.
Alright.
I'm happy to be...
Devil's Swine that is, that's fine. I've been outvoted.
I'm interested in the dragon as well, it's just...
Well, of course you've been outvoted. Dimitri said this.
Okay, so...
As a player, I'm happy that we can go if people want to go to, but actually, like to me, the main purpose from Dimitri's perspective is to say, well, dragons are a natural feature of the world. Obviously, yes, there's issues with what happens to them and things like that, but considering Dimitri's got a dragon working for him, he's certainly not necessarily automatically opposed to dragons in general, and has been working with help for quite a lot. And vampires, well, hey, you were talking about Aramikos.
And you do know the problematic thing of killing a dragon can put a big X on your back.
Obviously, what was stated in that initial thing of like, going after a dragon, a vampire, or a fiend was what the actual intent of the going after was. But yeah, really becoming a fiend, well, as I said, we've just been dealing with the fact that what we discovered was a fiend had been threatening Karanikos directly. If they've opened up a portal that we didn't necessarily quite close properly or something, then we should finish the job.
I think just thinking about it, considering I've been stalked by devil swine, I probably changed my studied adversary to fiends. Monstrous and fiends, if I'm thinking devil swine and werewolves.
Yep, that would work with monstrous and fiends.
Yeah.
Because the devil swine technically have a foot in both camps.
So yeah, I think instead of what was previously beasts and giants, and I'm allowed, like, one of the features of studied adversaries, I can shift it after a long rest. So I probably would have at some point in the last month shifted it to monstrous and fiends, considering that I'm now being hunted by these things.
Okay, so you are...
One was, did Gregory and have a specific task, or is that going, hey, I've got these 3 specific potential problems that I investigated, and that's
always good. Gregory's the one that's hired us.
You are approached by Lord Bartran Cordelius of Karamikos.
Okay.
He's the Minister of Trade.
Bartram?
That is his name, yes.
What was the last bit? Bartram?
Cordelius.
Cordelius.
Alright, Minister of Trade. Cool, sorry.
And from Dimitri's perspective, he is probably the most humorless man he's ever met.
Now, is that true? Dimitri seems pretty nonplussed.
Well, he's a Theatan, so that already has it down in Dimitri's book.
Okay.
Okay, so he looks to be in his mid-60s with very grey hair, clean-shaven, and very serious-looking eyes. Dressed in a plain blue robe with the badge of the Ministry of Trade for Karamikos on it.
Mm-hmm.
He's also the head taxman.
Okay.
Partly why Dimitri always thought of him as no fun.
Well, I mean, if I could, that's part of the whole Phaeacians stealing blood from a stone from the true god.
Okay, so he uses Dimitri's full name when greeting him.
Well, I had titles.
I'm sure he meant to use the titles.
Yes. Go on, Minister.
He says he has a job suited to your particular skills.
No. I have many skills. I'm particularly good to most of them, yes.
Says, glad you accept, and he hands you a scroll and starts to turn around and walk away.
It's maybe interesting information, but is authority is which has come from?
He says he has spoken to the Elven lords, and this is part of their agreement to join the kingdom. Thanks for making that happen.
I'm surprised you didn't go to Lord Crowlin about the question, but we'll see what we can do. I'm happy to fix your mistake.
He sort of has a good see that you do, not really understanding what you're saying as he walks out.
Okay, so what are we looking for?
Okay, as you crack it open, you see that there is a document witnessed by Trellin and by Genric on behalf of the Elven communities that are joining Karamikos.
Mm-hmm.
And in that it says that the king has agreed to deal with some unforeseen circumstances relating to the migration of the elves from Alfheim.
Okay.
And it may or may not have something to do with a failed summoning attempt as part of the migration.
Okay. Okay. It certainly sounds like something that would be considered the party contains some elves. It sounds like we've taken the right sort of pathway. Did we get confirmation as to how far west the Stefan had offered the Alpine elves?
All the way up to the all the way up to the river.
On the east side or the west side, though?
On the western side of the river, with an understanding that if they need to expand, they can move west.
Oh, okay. Because we'll talk about the idea of, hang on, if you go to the western side of the river, then they become a bit of a upper zone between Flashes and Karamikos. But I remember there was no reason why they weren't going to go that side, or couldn't go that side.
Well, that's because technically that's the Bialian side of the river.
I was going to say that's one of the barriers.
Yeah, that's right.
Bialians wouldn't be happy with others entering their space.
And the Lake of Lost Dreams has a habit of making people forget.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So a blow up of the map for you. That's the Dimrak Forest. Technically, the Vialian side of the river is Karamikian lands in name, but is mostly used by the Vialian elves of Thyatis.
Yeah. We could buy. So we suggested that, hey, King Karamikos will keep Stefan quite happily give the Alpine elves access to that forest and pay. Let the elves find out among themselves when they're actually anywhere. So.
Does he say that near Hildren?
Well, he wouldn't actually make that statement, but Dimitri might.
Well, Dimitri would have provided advice to Stefan. During one of the previous events, Stefan would come regularly to Dimitri for private advice and recommendations as to how to run his realm.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if Dimitri said anything like that in front of Hildren.
He wouldn't necessarily try to avoid it. Whether Hildren would have been involved in the the audience with the king at the time, or times.
Probably not.
He would not be trying to specifically avoid it because, okay, from his perspective, he's a definite statement of, well, hang on, if you've already got potential spies from Payaka in your realm, better to have those that are in your debt already. I'll deal with them, but he looked at it with the east side of the Raglov River, the western side, to help deal with the goblins. So.
Okay, and with your knowledge of celestial events, today is the day the hidden moon is directly above the region.
Okay.
And usually results in an eclipse of the area for a few hours.
Mm-hmm. That fucking happened to coincide with the last time Tamika went to the Valley of Lost Dreams, doesn't it? The Lake of Lost Dreams.
Well, you have a problem. You can't remember that clearly because everyone who's near the Lake of Lost Dreams forgets what happened.
Yep.
Is that a curse, or...?
It is an actual curse. It's a partly a protector of the area of Haven above it, as anyone who leaves Haven generally goes by the Lake of Lost Dreams and forgets all about Haven.
Would the Violian elves know anything about the Lake of Lost Dreams, or have any ways of combating it? Like, would I have learned anything about that?
They don't go out of the thick forest near the Lake of Lost Dreams. So they don't consider that area of light forest near it part of their realm.
Okay, cool. So I wouldn't have any information around it.
The information you have would be stay away from that place. It's cursed.
So basically this scroll from the minister is basically saying that, hey, we need to help settle the old development in western Dimrak Forest, and as part of their move, they might have stuffed up a summon. So when we're talking about the Alpine elves, this is, it was cool and code that we're there for the thing. So are these the noble caste that left early to then allow the youngsters and things like that to follow more of Quill's lead, or is this the youngsters after the nobles have left?
This would be the noble caste who believed they knew better.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, yeah. Dimitri will catch up with the rest of the party at some point later that day after talking to the minister and explain that, well, it appears that the kingdom had me about everything again, and the elves that he's trying to settle over the Dimrak Forest apparently having some problems. Any of you been speaking to them recently?
Yes, they keep bugging me about getting people to help.
Are you traveling around? Any particular ones you're talking about?
The Chossum clan.
Okay, the refugees from Alpine. before it got eliminated?
Not much other than visiting Frelin and Garrick.
Well, I'm assuming that Carl probably hasn't necessarily had a lot to do with it directly because he's over in the sorry, I forgot my name. My head for the name, but yeah, the forest on the western side of Canberra.
So the other forest is known as the Red Lib Woods, which is where you have your. That's where you have your domain.
Yes, that's right. But I didn't have, and I know I've got around the woods written out in my name, but I didn't have that open really otherwise when I was trying to think how to name again. So, yeah. So, have with the Alpine Elves, were they aiming for the more central southern area of the eastern Democratic Forest, western Democratic Forest, or were they trying to push aside the Kalari Elves as we saw on that map there?
From the Chossum, we're going to do along the road as much as possible.
Right.
Whereas the Fiendish were doing the northern part of the Red Lib Woods above the name.
Okay.
Because that's where Trellin has his domain.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so the Alpine Elves are actually splitting up, so they're being split up, is that the case?
Well, they'll split themselves up.
Yeah.
Well, you like this area, we're taking this one.
Yeah. And so, well, according to the information we've got, does it appear that it's more the Chossum or the Philham Elves that need support?
It appears to be both because in their travels they had unwittingly done a few bad things.
Right.
Of course they have.
In which case, then we'll definitely start with the Philham Elves because, hey, Carlin's got connection and that's closer to Quest Freeton because you can compare to Dimitri.
So the Chossum is near the roads in Dimrak, or are we talking about the Duke roads?
Yeah, southern Dimrak Forest.
The southern road, yes.
Eastern
road.
Eastern road.
Because the Chossum are more willing to meet with people, whereas the Fiendish are more like to hide themselves.
Yeah, I did remember to note down. I do know I noted down what the different clans were and what their specialties were. And yeah, the Chossum was about wealth and progression.
Yes, and also didn't like other people some types of progression, hence Genrick's old job of burn everything.
Yeah, no science and tech.
Which is why they're as far away from the gnomes as possible.
Fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. They're certainly not uncommon amongst elves, since also definitely was anti-technology for a lot of understanding. So
the problem that we're being sent on is it closest to the Fiendish or closest, like, where are we going?
It is a plague on the elves who have left Alfheim.
Currently it's affecting both of them, and yeah. That's it really makes much more sense to start with the Philham because Carlin has an estate in that area, which you're probably concerned about. The approaching the League's estate.
Yes.
And as a character, I'll say this, but as a player, or as a character issue, but as a player, it's not going to all pick it up again. If it's choice between Jericho and Crowler, hey, Crowler better out a bit longer.
To a knife.
Is it just the Fiendal and the Chossum, or are the other clans affected?
All the clans are affected.
It seems that all the plans to escape Elfheim are affected, but that the impact of it is expanding, or has potential to expand.
Because I thought there was representatives from their 8 clans. Sorry, I keep clicking back to my notes.
Well, there were already multiple plans at Elfheim when they all ended up attempting to come to Canberra,
Some of them.
Yeah, there was 7 clans. No, 8. Yep, 8. So you have the Chossum, the Arundel, the Fiendal, the Grand Elf, the Long Runners, the Milao, and the Red Arrows, and the Balkadir Elves.
The Balkadir elves weren't actually migrating because they're in Galantry.
So is there nobles from all the other clans coming to Karamikos, or is it mainly the Fiendal and Chossum?
Mainly the Fiendal and Chossum, but the other ones have sent representatives because they were friendly.
Cool. I was just trying to figure out why it was focused on the Fiendal and the Chossum, and if that's because they're the ones that have come to Karamikos, that makes sense.
They're the ones joining the party, I believe.
Well, the party gave him reason to be here.
Oh, they followed you, Genrick!
Genrick's their representative. He's here to talk to the king willingly.
Well, think of it more like Vulcans. Vulcans hate touching people, so they get a volunteer to be the ambassador, not the best person with a job.
I love the fact that Trellin is having his clan gather around him just like his stalkers.
Well, since they've got to make the trip from the Feywild, yeah, it's a bit arduous.
Well, you also are the one who pulled out their holiest sword.
Yes. And another 10 magic items.
Well, they ended up giving them to you because you pulled their magic sword. You have done the equivalent of pulled Excalibur out of the stone. And your character didn't realise you did it at the time because you didn't have the background. No other elf would have been willing to try.
Yeah. And of course, yeah, if you can't do it out with Jack itchy back, you become scrappy.
Well, technically the sword is his until he dies.
That's correct.
And so, revivify, if he's ever revivified, the sword is no longer his. Okay, so it will take you 5 days to reach Trellin's estate.
Is that heading up the Duke Road or via the Western Road?
That will be up the Duke's Road.
Yeah. Are you intending we're actually going via Refillian?
You would go via Refillian.
Yeah. The Dimitri will certainly be wanting to at least pay respect to the Elven Rule of Refillian, or is maybe it's in Hager. That's not just to confirm, but also that would give you an opportunity to confirm whether or not there's other information or knowledge about whatever it is these Pillar elves have actually brought into the forest with, and whether it's affected the Kalari elves.
Okay, so while you're there, I will give you a gather information roll. See how good Dimitri is at charming people for information.
Yeah, I do one as well. Using like I've got a thing about persuasion and stuff using as a cleric and using Zerchev. Hang on, let me see if I can find it.
So we're talking investigation or persuasion or.
I would think of it more as a I'm looking at the
We're
right.
talking insight for the talking.
Persuasion.
Persuasion. Okay.
That's the best one for it.
Happy with that.
Helps that I actually have a GM screen with most of that stuff on there now.
Yeah. Burn, blocking, 13.
Okay, so how well did Hilderon go?
I have. Oh, it depends. Are they negatively disposed to Zerchev, or are they friendly to Zerchev?
They are friendly because Zerchev looks after them in particular compared to the rest of Karamikos.
Okay, so I'm just checking my thing. I have an advantage and I have an expertise dice on persuasion. With that in mind.
So what did you get?
I don't roll yet. I was just checking to see what I was rolling. And it's persuasion, so I've got proficiency? No. But it's wisdom, so 22?
22 is pretty good. Okay, so you see Dimitri doing a lot of asking and questioning, and how would Jeremy like to put how he's not doing so well?
Okay, well, Dimitri's gone in there expecting that obviously everyone knows that Dimitri's always there just to help and provide the guidance and information they need. And so, yes, he goes in there, typical Dimitri style, and he starts explaining to them what's wrong. And why it is how it was that the Alpine Elves could muck things up at the time when they were trying to get out of here.
Okay, so at which point I will have how does Hilderon go about us moving over all the issues Dimitri caused?
I would probably go behind him and talk to people and talk about possibly patience and forgiveness and the diplomacy and respect that is central to Zerchev's teachings, and try to be more of a listening ear than a authoritative voice, if that makes any sense.
It does.
And sort of slip into my...
Not everyone can be such an authority as Dimitri is.
I'm very much not that much of authority. Like, part of the reason why I didn't end up in the herds or the guards and military of my people is because I wasn't an authoritarian person.
Okay, so what you gather from them is as much as they find that Dimitri telling them what to do helpful, he seemed to have missed most of the plot. As there was an unfortunate side effect that they didn't know about when they moved their Tree of Life over to the Redleb Woods, is that when two trees get into a certain proximity of each other, they actually create unstable pockets.
Cool.
And they basically become focal points of ley lines. So where two ley lines cross, you can get a good or a bad magic point.
Right, and they had worked this out after having all those bad magic zones within Elfheim, but probably a direct result of having the Tree of Life for each clan in the space of in the vicinity of Elfheim, which is probably not that much bigger than the target.
Well, they didn't actually have any clue as to how they were formed, because they were formed so many centuries in the past that no one was watching to see the occurrences happen.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't ask to make.
And they became more of an expert on detecting the bad magic points, since they would randomly appear in the forests. And now that they brought two trees within proximity of each other, there's actually good and bad points forming in Redleb Woods.
Right. That would then mean that it couldn't become much of an issue in the Dimrak forest, could it? Because
So forget you've got the island. It depends how big the radius is, because you've got in the Dimrak forest you do still have the Kalari elves, and you've also got the Island elves on the other side.
But the Kalari elves light tree would be in and around Rebellion, presumably.
It is. But the Dimrak forest is technically connected to the Vialian area.
Yeah.
And it generally happens if two trees are in the same forest.
Oh, okay, right. So it's not so much specifically distant, but size of the forest is involved. So.
And up until
separation of the river, the regular river.
The river doesn't separate it enough.
Okay.
It seems to be a very simple solution to this. We just rename the forest on the other side of the river.
Yeah, it's that easy.
Assuming that wouldn't actually work, we'll just cut the trees down both sides of the river for the heck in the side, and then decorate the forest.
Do you say that in front of children?
You need to say that in front of the elves.
I think our skin is crawled.
And so, considering that means that you'd be cutting down 32 miles of forest, or maybe it would be 40 miles of forest, because the river technically goes over each side of this hex, so you'd want to be doing each side there. So I'm sure 40 miles of hex is being cleared either side of 20 either side of the river is perfectly sane.
And I'm sure the Vialian elves won't mind you cutting down part of their very wild and maintained that way forest. And they wouldn't kill you on sight.
We'll work out what other options might be available, but hey, separate the forest sounds like if the forest is no longer linked, the trees would no longer be linked, and therefore they would not interfere with each other.
Just giving Canberra enough time, we'll just push everything like 8 miles the other way.
Let's deal with the Redleb Wood first. There's obviously the option to effectively cut the forest in half. It's not really viable based on the fact that there's not enough of the woods to actually do it. So.
And you've got more connections with the Fiendal and the Kalari elves by the sounds of it, whereas I don't know if would anybody else in the party know much about the violin elves, or just that they're the mysterious, dangerous elves.
They're just the elves that are rumoured to exist in the forest.
So I'm the only one that knows anything about them.
That is
At
correct.
the moment. Okay.
Though Dimitri could explain to you all the things he believes are fact.
Very good.
He knows the fact.
And yeah.
In fact, if Dimitri said it.
And knowing what I know about violin elves and their culture and how much they value their secrecy and their privacy, like I wouldn't be telling them about anything. I'd just be watching and listening and trying to guide without giving anything away.
And the big thing that Hildebrand hears is that there seems to be a explosion of fiendish boars in the forest.
Oh God.
I'm sure that's got nothing to do with a god. Maybe
No.
not.
No, it was just Canberra. He didn't summon them for fun.
That would definitely pique my interest because I am tracking the Orcus marked devil's flying that kill a whole heap of people up in my neck of the woods.
And there are sort of belief amongst the elven druids that the Radler Wood, the Dimrak Forest, and the Canberra Forest, which is where Altheim's based, have had their ley lines all shift and connect to each other, forming a triangle of a sort.
Mm-hmm.
Because the other forest is just up there.
Okay.
Which forest is it, sorry?
The forest of Alfheim, known as the Canberra. And the fact that a group had a demon lord get out into the forest, I'm sure has no connections to Orcus one way or the other.
Oh, of course not.
And ley lines have been known to come or go from good and bad points, as well as the Tree of Life.
Okay. So you certainly can be interested in investigating formations and changes in the ley line system to play. That might interfere with his work to correct on. So, and enhance his work to correct on. So.
Well, you have had notes from your Sensual that his portals have all shut down in the last week.
Yeah.
Because someone's messed with the ley lines of the forest.
Yeah.
So the portals between the Fae and the material plane, or?
Well, the Fey Dark is now as close as the Fey Wild to the Elven Woods, which wasn't normally the case.
And Dimitri and what's his name? Gallagher had portals within West Freeland that have been there for quite some time, so if they're being interrupted or affected, then I think that can be good. So,
And Dimitri hasn't had a chance to make use of them all by now, so...
Quick question about Genrick. Has anything changed with his seeming werewolf transformation?
It got cured after the crowning.
It got cured?
Yeah.
You're no longer a werewolf? Cool.
No.
He used a lot of salt, I'm sure.
Salt water! He can submerge himself in salt water.
You?
So the Brazilian elves, are they aware of specific locations that have been popping up causing problems? Or is it a suggestion that we have to go to the soil where we release Tree of Life to start the investigation?
Well, they believe it's happening between Raphilian and the topmost point of the Raphilian woods.
Yeah. All the way to the woods,
Yeah, so the Red Lab woods, yeah.
With the, so where's the filial set up their Tree of Life?
They have set it up in that square. Hex.
Okay, so which they believe where the, like, it's not like the convergence of the ley lines or problems or things like that. It's technically midway between the two trees of life. It seems to be focused on the new tree of life at this stage.
It does. It seems to be focused between the two.
Oh, okay, so it's between. Yeah.
So one of them's there, and you would have found out the other one's technically there.
Okay. Actually, yes, because Raphilian was actually deliberately set up as a picture of the elves' contact outpost with the rest of the world, rather than necessarily being the capital of the Calariel area. Right?
Oh, it is the capital. It's just that that's not where they put their prized possessions.
Well, I'm thinking back, yeah. It is the recognized capital as far as Karamikos and the outside world, like the outside of the old burn. Yes, it is the sort of thing that they started much more central in the forest, and then realised, hey, we're better off putting something on the edge of the forest rather than having the rest of the world come in and try and focus on our fire.
And as far as the Kalari are concerned, there's no difference between the Red Lead Woods and the Nimrak Forest, as their Tree of Life influences both forests.
Yeah.
So we're going. We're looking to head. We'd sort of be heading towards the hex above the ODS of the Red Lead Woods.
That's where you're expecting to be a problem, because that's where the elves have seen most of the fiends.
Yeah. So are the elves of Raphilian interested in providing an escort to the specific location, or are they happy for us to find our own way there and they're obvious enough that you can't be said to go around the area?
Well, they say you've got Trellin with you, how could you go wrong?
I've got a survival skill.
It was just the aspect of, if they had specific concerns about specific locations, then they may be interested in having someone say, hey, yeah, let's take these heroes straight to the place, rather than relying on them to find the place, which I'm going to do quite happily. If we are not being guided there directly, then many people are saying, well, there's no point actually bushbashing through the woods all the way. We might as well go across the grassland river where they're walking a bit easier, or riding easier, and then we can come back into the woods and have like what?
Hang on. No, I can't shift my familiar terrain, I don't think, otherwise I could help with that. I don't think I can just shift my familiar terrain.
Normally not without downtime.
Or we just had them on the downtime.
Yeah, you didn't know what we were planning on doing for it, so
Yeah, but I'm away from mountains and frost.
You could have shifted it to forests if you wish to.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, considering the wages in the Arctic, maybe I probably would have shifted it to forest since we're spending a lot of time in the forest.
Obviously, as you said, certainly most of Canberra is forested, or at least trees. There are areas that are heavy forest, but like Jeff said, even the Duke Road, Western Road, and Eastern Road will go through a wooded place. So,
If possible, I probably would have changed it from Arctic to forest.
That is
and had forest and mountain.
Forest and mountain.
I've got, with my elf power called Mask of the Wild, I can hide even when only lightly obscured by foliage, heavy rain, falling snow, mist, and other natural phenomena.
The reason I'm asking is with familiar terrain, I can make, I get advantages, intelligence, wisdom related checks, but also difficult terrain doesn't slow down my group's travel. We can't become lost except by magical means.
Nice.
If I'm by myself, I can move stealthily at a normal pace. I get more supply when I hunt and gather, and I'm better at tracking. So, I gain a whole heap of advantages.
Awesome.
For the familiar terrain, not just for me, but for the party. So, over the past couple of months, what I've been doing is being in the forest, and we don't seem to be going somewhere closer to my home than I would have probably studied up on forests and practiced and explored the forest to get to shift my familiar terrain to forest.
That would work.
Sweet, cool. So we have advantages moving to the forest, and we won't be slowed down by being in the forest.
that's good. That's good. It could involve the beach too much out of the way, because, I mean, he's got to slow down to have a party anyway, so.
But I can help us speed up, so overall, if we're going through the forest.
If the forest is convenient, then we're more likely to find outlying issues of the event within the forest on account of it, so.
What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
I mean, you've not really concerned about how everybody go. He's confident that he can go straight line from Rebellion to the current Curse marker unerringly. Okay, we want to go basically southwest and northwest through the forest. Happy with that.
I feel like it would make more sense to Hildred because A, she's more familiar with the forest, and B, I feel like being in the forest and seeing what we see is going to give us more of an understanding of what's going on. Whereas diverting it, we won't have as many clues or as many warnings.
Well, I'm also happy that presumably Hildred is going to be in the scout. So
Yeah. I figured Trellan's going to be leading because it's his sort of area. I'll be scouting, coming back and helping to move through the forest more effectively. The other thing I can do is use verbal and non-verbal cues to communicate with beasts to gain basic information from them and make simple requests. So I can ask the animals, very simply, I can ask the animals what's going on, like what they've noticed and stuff like that.
where are the bad places?
Yeah. I also, if we need it, can commune with Zercher, and DM, I need my premonition stuff.
So you need your premonitions for today?
Yep. So that's either trying to find it so if it reminds me. I can get a piece of information that will help us in our endeavour before the end of our next long rest, or I can get a D20 die and replace any roll with that roll.
Yep. Yes, you get a repetitive result, but it doesn't come back as a yes or no or word. It's a tune. We can actually go ahead, but it goes along the lines of, if you go to the woods today, you're in for a big surprise.
It can be anything the DM decides. It's whatever the Zercher decides to share with me.
Lions, tigers, bears, oh my.
My. Well, lions and tigers and boars, oh my.
Okay, you get a premonition of something hot on the back of your neck.
Okay.
I reckon Jennifer's just say holy fire.
So either I am Genrick or thinking Devil Swine. I have to admit, the last month being stalked by the Devil Swine probably put them at the forefront of Eldred's mind.
Are you happy to get with Derek yet?
Well, he says he's cured, so I'll leave it at that.
You probably wouldn't have been there when you got cured.
Probably.
You sure it was a cure, or did you get blessed in a different religion as you got covered in water?
I don't remember. I think he asked the king about it.
Would remove curse have gotten rid of lycanthropy? It's only for level 3 curses or lower.
Normally you need a remove curse and dispel magic.
Well, it could have been me and Dimitri who did it, if Dimitri has dispel magic.
You guys.
I also have dispel magic, but I don't know if it needed to be cast at the same time.
Yeah, never can do one of them. Remove curse. I think
We could have cured you, Genrick.
What we're doing when we're getting the people with a lot of restaurant started out up in the chief up in the northwest.
Well, we had to do lesser restoration and remove curse there.
Yeah.
I need to go drop a kill to somebody that block themselves out.
Okay.
After Eldred probably want to make sure he's cured.
I'm sure you figured that out.
To make sure you provide appropriate guidance and advice to the elves. And we can
Eldred's got behind him, smoothing it over.
If there's real problems and issues.
Well, you didn't get any reports of Genrick causing problems over the last full moon.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I will get a perception roll on the group.
I'm pretty good at that. Plus 11.
I think because we're in the forest, I get advantage now.
Oh, yeah. You go ahead.
Yeah, I get an expertise dice. And my passive perception increases by 2. So when I'm in the forest, my passive perception is now 28. Can I use my passive perception instead of rolling?
You can choose to do so, yes.
And at a passive perception of 28, I am happy to be passively perceiving everything.
The magic capacity is 26, so it's happy going along. And we can actually hour by hour looking.
And what did Trelling get?
Uh, 25.
Potentially, Carolyn and or Hilburn ahead of the party to be what we think first if they can afford them, but
Yeah, I was
too far ahead of the party.
I was thinking that we'd do the same thing we did when we moved through the Fey Woods, where I was sort of scouting a little bit ahead of everybody else and coming back and reporting and keeping an eye out and all that jazz. That's what I do.
Okay. So how close do you have to be to provide the team with the enhancement through the forest?
It doesn't actually say. It just says
30 foot?
your route. No, it just says your route traveled.
But we're going to look at, in 15 or level up type stuff. Yeah, your overland travel becomes a lot more generic in the sense that it's not necessarily assumed the party is all staying next to each other as you travel along. So,
I wouldn't be moving more than 30 feet away from people anyway. I would just be just ahead. Wasn't what I think it was only 30 feet is 10 meters, so maybe a little bit more than that, but not hugely. But yeah, it doesn't specifically say. Oh, also, if I'm engaging in another activity while in my favourite terrain, I remain alert to danger.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get distracted myself. Yeah, it's up to you, Martin, but the feet doesn't say specifically a radius.
Well, normally when people scout ahead, they can actually go way out of sight. So scouting ahead doesn't necessarily mean keeping the people you're scouting for inside you.
yeah. But also on the flip side of that, it could be part of the speed or skill is the fact that they are scouting ahead, picking the most, the least,
Least resistance and leading indicators of how to move through the forest.
yeah, obviously, either way, be justified.
Yeah.
As
I said,
a natural field around the person that currently the forest is like clear for a certain range.
I'm definitely willing to go with whatever you say, Martin, but yeah, I think I was going to suggest the same thing that Jeremy did, is that like what I would be doing is leaving signs and the best way to move through the forest.
I mean,
Having a backseat driving. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, like Trellin knows these woods.
I guess part of the question would be, what is ability to use it? Is it a feat? Is it effectively a magical skill? Or?
It's a class feat, it's not a magical skill, it's like I understand these terrains.
Yes, we can make it a class feat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds more like the idea of, they're marking out the best pathway to follow and things like that sort of stuff.
Okay, so you do feel the forest is more alive feeling than the last time you came through it.
Well, probably the last time we were going through this forest, we're heading towards Quest 3 time. We have a lot less influence from the elves now.
And your markers seem to move or disappear on you. If you didn't have another dedicated tracker with you, you'd have a hard time keeping up with each other.
Oh, I make your book goes away.
Okay, I'll give Demetrius a survival roll and see how well he figures that out.
There you go, natural 20. So,
Okay, Dimitri does figure out that the trees seem to be turning directions, so what he's normally south-facing is not facing south. So the trees are literally moving and changing direction, and what was once clear can become rough, what was once rough can become clear.
And we thought if you thought it would be a natural feature of the Elven Forest, or would it be the Elven Forest got a bit wild?
It seems the Elven Forest is waking up.
Yeah.
It had not been this wild before.
So, again, with my experience, like I've spent a couple of years with the Vile Elves, would this feel familiar, or is this different?
This is different. The Violent Elves spend more time in the Feywild, and this is more in the actual world itself, and the main trees aren't this aware.
Okay, cool.
Though you have had rumours that there may be trees moved into the forest with the elves.
Does it feel like the Feywild, or is it, again, something completely different?
Feels Fey-like without being the Feywild.
What does that mean?
Fey-like means unearthly things happening that don't normally happen, whereas the Feywild, all forms of science seem to fail.
Oh, okay. So just a run-of-the-mill day. That's fine.
Yeah, you can't tie down the Feywild, but the normal world obeys certain laws.
So because I'm trained in stealth and survival, do I get a roll to make sure we're on the right track?
Well, you do know where you are. You have kept track of this because your domain's not far from here.
Oh, okay, nice.
Can I try and do some non-verbal communication with like the animals? I'm assuming because it's not like when we had the undead around. If there's more life, is there more life? Is there more animal life?
The animal life here seems to be different than what you're used to. You don't seem to be able to communicate with it.
I probably would have gone back to Trellin at some point and asked if these sorts of the animal life and stuff is what's usually in the forest, or if that's changed as well.
I don't think so. I think it's normal.
Just feels a little darker than you're used to.
Oh, okay, it's just a little bit dark. Right.
There are certainly dark influences in the forest than normal.
You're used to Feywild influences, you're not used to Feydark influences.
Cool. So, like, we would have probably been able to figure out as we were traveling, because I'm assuming it's more than a day's travel.
It is about a day's travel because your ability to make a path.
Sweet. But when we stopped for lunch or something like that, I probably would have tried to talk to Trellin and find out about this sort of stuff. Do you think we would have come to the conclusion that it's more Feydark, considering I'm familiar with Feywild?
Both of you would think that, yes.
Cool.
No worries, I'm in agreement.
Sweet.
While we've got the connection to move quickly, then there's going to be the element of deliberately making a more circuitous path So therefore, you can't less hectic in a day, but you can't really detect a bit more thoroughly.
I'm happy to take more work as like part of the point. Part of the point for me is trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to listen to the group, but I know that Hildred would definitely be willing to take her time and figure out, because she'd rather be prepared than surprised.
Okay, so as you're paying attention to as you go, you do come across signs that the native animals that you would normally talk to have all been slain by something.
Now, I definitely have experiences of coming across the remains of werewolf devil swine slaughter. Is it familiar?
It is familiar.
Okay, I would probably then go back to the group and talk to them about devil's swine and the werewolves and my experience. And if you want me to run through a little bit of my background about it, I'm happy to, but I was definitely signaling.
You put the tusk size as about the size of your forearm.
Jeez. How big is your forearm?
At least 2 to 3 foot long.
Jesus. I'm getting on the flying carpet and raining arrows.
Well, you have no problem setting that up. Are you bringing anyone else up onto your flying platform?
I want to stay on the ground.
Yeah, it's completely up to them, but I'm feeling very generous.
Demetrius doesn't just turn his phantom steed into a Pegasus?
No, it's about to be already like out a little bit. The point is, the carpet slows.
I think I can levitate 20 feet off the ground. Can't remember how tall the devil swine is, but I think that takes me out of normal range. But I can only do it once, so for a long rest.
Okay. Do we have a generic back?
Yes.
How much is this?
Can I just do one more thing as we're sort of approaching, if we're approaching the area we're worried about? Can I throw a primeval awareness?
Okay, you're sensing an overwhelming fiendish presence in the area, overriding all other senses.
Yep.
Yeah, getting really close.
So, yeah, I communicate this.
And unlike normally, you actually see what appears like tentacles of the fiendish nature heading west. You've never actually seen a manifestation of your primeval awareness.
Dimitri recommends stopping for a minute then, and he'll put up the telepathic form.
And as you start to do that, you get the starting of dusk as the sun's starting to set.
Perfect.
So is anyone else wanting to join me on the flying carpet?
Hey, it's dark. Are we looking for a campsite?
How far away are we at this point? Martin, where would you say we are?
I would say you'd probably be where the S is on Redland Woods.
Okay. If we're going to stop.
I thought I also had for generic. It's been about half a day since he's noticed any rats.
Not normal. He's not upset about it, but he's concerned.
So he's probably been in the racks for ages, and now they're gone, he's worried about them.
He's worried about why they're not there. It means something's scaring them off.
Can I do a religion check? Would it be religion? Can I do either a religion or a nature check? Considering how focused I am on devil swine and werewolves, do I know if they're more dangerous at night?
Oh, they're more dangerous on the night of the full moon than any other night, and it's not the night of the full moon.
So it's probably less dangerous, even though it's night.
Though they do have water moon waning happening, so there is moonlight, just not the power of the full moon.
Okay. So I'd probably say set up a camp. Like the moon influences them and can give them power. It's not a full moon, but there's still. It would be wiser to take the time and have a little rest and prepare and move forward in the daylight. If others agree with that.
Sounds good to me. I'm happy to do it.
And while you're telling me that, you get
go up 60 feet and relax.
And
on my flying carpet.
while you're telling them about the werewolves, you do get the sense of being watched.
Okay. Just trying to think. Can I use my kindred spirit? I intuitively sense when another wilderness expert is nearby.
You can.
Passive perception increases by 5, so that would take me up to 33 to detect hidden or invisible creatures within 30 feet of me, and I instantly detect whether any creature is proficient with stealth or survival.
Okay, as you bring that up, you get the feeling of there are many creatures within about 50 feet of you that have ill intent that are not natural.
You don't have is it Miraculous Mansion or what's the spell do you, Dimitri?
He's got tiny hut, but I'm assuming he's conferring while he's taking a minute to put up the telepathic bond when you decided we're going to stay down. So you could take a minute to put up tiny hut stuff, but by the count of it, if you let everyone know telepathically that, hang on, we're currently surrounded, then
Oh, I would.
perhaps it's better to deal with the likely immediate issue before anyone tries to go to sleep. So,
Well, even if we were sleeping, I would be saying high alert watches.
can Krellin see anything from up higher?
As Trollan starts to rise, he can start seeing glittering eyes all around you in the forest.
Alright, well, I'll come back down and tell them.
With your telepathic bond, you don't have to go back down.
Alright, cool. Cool, yes.
Do you guys sense?
Now, are we actually still in like when we were talking about the idea of getting a stopping for the night potentially? Are we actually in a bit of a clearing, or they're still heavily forested all around?
You have found a clearing in the heavy forest. The clearing is about 15 feet by 15 feet.
Right. Okay.
Just enough for your archer to roll out his carpet.
Yeah. And
When
enough room for the tiny hut. Go ahead.
when my keen sensors or whatever it was kicked in, did I sense did I sense that the creatures around us were proficient in stealth and survival, or because I feel like the lack of that would imply more animals, whereas if there's that, then we're thinking more Wes Phase sort of creatures.
They are proficient in stealth.
I'm proficient in both.
Yeah. I'm fairly sure I would have picked you up, but I know where you are. So I would communicate that and say it's not natural creatures, it's something with intelligence and proficiency and training almost.
I think that's whether or not the radius of the wall of fire in a circle would actually fit within this space, would it not? It's got a radius of about a 10-foot radius, or is it a 5-foot radius?
Yeah, the problem with that is if they're boars,
They're probably not going to be set by fire anyway, but it was more just a case of getting the idea that the protection of the place, particularly if you've got the Krellin hovering above to go through, but actually I think it's probably a 10-foot radius line which would put it beyond the clearing.
And the werewolves last time were empowered by the fire, and fiends tend to have a connection and empowerment with fire, so I'm not sure.
I will ask Roland to do a perception roll while he's... make an insight roll while he's watching.
I'm assuming Dimitri hasn't spotted these things from the ground at all with his dark vision. If you'll put his goggles down a bit. If it's dark enough to warrant dark vision with the goggles.
It's that point right where Twilight's starting.
18.
Okay, from your estimation, you put these beings at about 10 to 15 feet in height.
Does that sound in keeping with Hildren's knowledge of the boars?
The devil swine?
Well,
Devil swine. Yeah, that one.
It is in proportion to the size of the tusk holes you found.
Right, but it's a new beast.
Well, devil swine tend to be not necessarily working together, and if we're surrounded by devil swine, we're dead. They are...
We can always fly on the carpet.
True.
There's always an option.
Does it feel like that malicious intent is cresting? Like, do I feel like... I get that there's the tension and the atmosphere, but does it feel like it's about to snap and something's about to happen, or...?
You believe they're waiting for nightfall before attacking.
Okay.
And you do get the sense of imminent threat.
Can I keep my, try and keep a sense of where that is and watch the nightfall? And as soon as it feels like something's about to happen, can I throw up my spirit guardians?
You can, and with that feeling of threat, it is a feeling of murder, not nourishment.
Yep. No, it definitely... Cool. So, yeah, as soon as something looks like it's about to happen, I'm going to throw up my spirit guardians. And before I do that, in the telepathic bond, I'm going to suggest to Genrick and Dimitri that it might be a good idea to stay within the range of my spirit guardians, because it'll damage anybody who comes into it. In fact, I might cast it at 4th level. It reduces their speed, and it does, at 4th level, 46 radiant necrotic damage if they don't do a wisdom save.
How big and thick are the trees around this clearing?
The trees here look fairly thick. They have the feeling of being about 5 to 10 feet in diameter, and there's enough room that you can ride a horse between them, so you're sure whatever they are, they won't have any troubles.
Yeah, it's more the idea of whether or not it's not like staying towards one side of this clearing is necessarily going to give it's not like back to the wall situation with using the direction in which they can come. They can probably push the trees down if they really want to.
They probably could.
Yeah.
Oh, quick question.
Yep.
Because we defeated those wereboars, did I get a destiny inspiration point or something?
Sure. I'm happy to give you one.
Sweet. So that means after I roll an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, but before I know the outcome, I may spend my inspiration to add a +5 bonus to that roll. I can do that once if you've given me an inspiration thing.
Well, for people to get inspiration, they have to ask for it. Save's trying to remember everyone's different bonuses.
Okay.
I'll remember that. And I asked.
So will I.
Well, there would be about 30 odd different inspirations I'd have to remember otherwise.
Well, I mean, in my case, Martin, not that I can imagine, but the idea that the mystery draws inspiration from research, understanding, gain new insights and data. You gain inspiration whenever you make an arcane, divine, scholastic, or scientific discovery. I'm working on the assumption that basically after every downtime period, he's got an inspiration point that he could use.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
I mean, obviously there might be times when he picks it up or replaces it with that formal downtime, but I'm figuring that, yeah, at this pace, if we catch out a month of downtime, you've got inspiration if it really needed.
Okay, so as it starts to get closer to darkness, you can start to make out that there seems to be over 20 of these large boars surrounding you. Only when it gets darker do they become easier to see.
Well, obviously, in the meantime, Dimitri, he's renewing his mage armor, so presumably the 8 hours probably coming up. And I haven't talked to you about his modified mage armor spell that I was trying to confirm yet. He'll renew his mage armor. Probably protection from good and evil might be handy.
From my research and my tracking and everything that I've been doing, would I think these are devil swine?
You would have expected devil swine to have communicated.
So then would I possibly think wereboars, or would I have an instinctual sort of guess at what these are?
Well, you know, these things are monstrosities, and definitely not beasts. which means they have most monstrosities have some form of intelligence or twisted aspect to them.
Thank you very much. That gives me advantage to tracking them. I can communicate with them, and I have a +1 bonus on weapon attacks.
Mm-hmm. I will give you a nature to see if you can figure out what these things are.
Cool. Give me a second. And nature is either intelligence or wisdom, so I get an expertise dice. And can I use wisdom? Is that okay?
You can use wisdom.
Sweet. I just realised I don't have a druid dice.
Mm.
19 plus 7. And I'm proficient, so plus another 4. So 30.
Okay, you do recognize these as Fiendish boars.
Okay.
Cool. Do I know anything about them that I could use to help us?
They are evil. There's no good aspect to these creatures whatsoever. Of creatures you encounter in the wild, these things are always malevolent.
Do I know if they have like a weakness to radiant or?
They have resistance to all magic.
Okay, I will definitely tell Dimitri and Genrick that.
You don't always take them down when you reduce them to 0 hit points.
Okay.
They can mark you with infernal marks, which make you more susceptible to damage from their kind. They can see through darkness as if it's light. And you cannot scare or poison them. And necrotic has absolutely no effect on them. And other elements they're resistant to.
Right, okay, so we know they're resistant to fire. Amongst other elements. So when we had the assessment of they're likely waiting for full dark before actually attacking, and the fact that we got just on twilight when we noticed them, and how much time do we feel we had between when we noticed them and when we expect they'll attack?
About 30 minutes.
Okay. That means that Dimitri definitely will pull off a few rituals, assuming and working on the idea that the others are alert and aware, including magic circle, so against beams.
And you do know that other things that would be known by Hilderan, my brain had completely lost names, is that they prefer to attack in darkness, but they can attack in any conditions.
So they're not adverse to light?
They're not adverse to light. Light has no real effect on them.
But it's the sort of thing that it can eliminate difficulties for us if there's good light force around.
I'm thinking that I would pull down my dark vision goggles. I'm not attuned to them, but they still give me dark vision.
Yeah.
I've got a question.
Yep. Go on.
About the cube of strategy, about magical creatures, and the energy aspect, which is everything in the area can be outlined by magic, making hostile creatures easier to target when they enter the area of effect, granting inspiration to their attacker.
Yeah, I'm just bringing it open so I can. So did you attune it?
Yes.
And
But I only have an energy because I've only got that aspect.
that is perfectly fine because as your belief, you wouldn't want more than one aspect.
Right.
Okay, so yes, you can literally activate that to create a field of the equivalent of. I think it's like glitter dust, or what it is that outlines the foes.
Well, yeah. So it gives everyone inspiration to it for the attacker.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our team.
So does that give us advantage, or
It gives you a
It's +5.
most inspiration.
+5?
Most inspiration is normally a expertise dice or a flat +5, depending on the source of it.
Yeah. Well, it just says granting inspiration to their attacker.
I'm just going to look up the base of inspiration in the book because I'd rather get it right than keep.
Oh, no worry. It's the first time I've used it, and it wasn't until you sort of came in on that last day of the sending out magic items. That's how I got it.
So we have 20 minutes before they're attacking, yeah?
We think we've got maybe up to 30 minutes. Right.
So if I spend 10 minutes...
Obviously, they could attack any time. People alert.
If you were to make anything aggressive, you expect them to attack.
But if I've got a thing, one of my knacks is if I spend 10 minutes observing facial expression, body language, and vocal intonation, I can detect minute details, giving me insight into creatures within 30 feet of me. For the next minute, I can direct my focus to any one creature, and if the creature has that I can see within 30 feet, and I can learn what's on its mind in that moment, and I can shift, as I mentioned, that attention to another creature.
Okay, so you can use that, and just so you know, when you have inspiration, you can use that to gain advantage on any roll. If you already have advantage, I will give you the expertise dice or an expertise dice upgrade.
What's the expertise dice?
So a base expertise dice is you roll a d4 and you add that to the result. If you have two expertise dice, it becomes a d6. If you have 3, it becomes a d8. Rarely can it go to a d10.
Alright.
And the third thing you can use an inspiration point is to activate your inspiration feature of your destiny.
Yeah. It can be different for everybody.
So each person will have different things that they can get out of doing it.
Well, expertise sounds good because having the advantage on the attack roll and double damage when achieving advantage, it sounds good.
And the benefit you have with the expertise dice is you can apply it to either of your attacks. So if you were to fall just below on one of the attacks, you can bump it up so it also succeeds.
Awesome.
Okay, so with all that happening, you can Hilderon can see that they seem to be working themselves up to attacking.
Okay.
Basically,
So,
they were expecting you to move through the forest in darkness, and because you stopped, you seem to have confused them.
Right, so looking at Dimitri really was a cool topic compared to the main important one for him, aside from obviously the telepathic bond that we've already got up, is magic circle against the fiend.
What does that do?
It's a 10-foot cylinder, i.e. like 5-foot radius,
Mm-hmm.
in which magical areas, designated creatures, i.e. in this case fiend, have disadvantage when attacking creatures within the area and are unable to charm, frighten or possess creatures. It's basically a protection from good and evil as an area effect.
And while Dimitri does this, Hilderon tweaks that the creatures are a monstrosity with the name Fiendish.
So magic circle wouldn't work, or
it's up to Hilderon if she wants to tell Dimitri he got it wrong, but I'm not sure Dimitri would believe it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, from Dimitri's perspective, it was part of the aspect of, well, we were expecting fiends in the area, so already going through that idea, and the target for a magic circle, like the idea of magic circles is their other planar creatures, so they only can affect celestial, elemental, fey, fiends, or undead. So you can't actually target specific normal monstrosities anyway. So.
well, I think I would have said that they were monstrosities. I don't think I would necessarily point out to Dimitri that. But I don't think I know enough about magic circle for me to point that out.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. It could have been hot to make me anything really to actually put it up. He loses a few ornate padlocks that he's kept for the purpose.
Do they actually disappear?
My fishery-friendly armor, and I'm just wearing my shiny shirt of deja vu.
So, Jeremy, I don't think your components disappear unless it says so specifically.
Yeah, no, it's like specified that it's got, components are, well, in fact, holy water or ornately good-grade padlock worth 100 gold, so it's got to do with holy water, so that's easier to carry. But consumed by...
I would have holy water on me.
Yeah, it don't specify consumed by the spell, so...
Yeah, it's very few that actually consume, that's why I was curious. Okay, so yes.
Okay.
You do see the area around Dimitri start to shimmer with holy light.
Yep. Magical energy surround the area and stop the designated creature from willingly entering by non-magical means. So yeah, you're in the middle of that, and hey, it'll work perfectly to Dimitri because he's got the cloak of displacement, so they get this dividing and they can't attack it.
If I remember correctly, the bane for the scimitar of the season is earth aspected creatures. Mm-hmm. Are these guys earth aspected creatures or not?
Hard to tell. The fiendish nature of them makes that almost impossible. It may make them entropic instead of matter. So darkness instead of earth.
It just changes. It gives me pluses to attacking baned creatures.
You would expect with their fiendish nature that they would be darkness empowered.
Not earth. Okay, cool. I can sense the presence of a of a banned creature. So if I'm not sensing the presence of the banned creatures, then
You do not.
okay, cool.
Okay, and as the barriers come up, you see the boars all start to leap forward. Seems the barrier activating was the flag they were looking for.
The next purple, right?
Yep.
Yep, okay. So that'll actually, that would probably have come up, double check, the next circle, yeah, lasts for an hour. So it would likely have come up probably about 5 minutes after we found them tucked up on the fact that, hey, let's get the protection up there in case they attack early, which obviously then could impact on other people's preparations.
And as they leap forward, you see them all start to get surrounded by lights from Trellan's magic field.
At the moment they moved, I threw up my spirit guardians.
Okay, so
Which is a 10-foot radius for spirit guardians.
what sort of damage does your spirit guardians do?
They do radiant damage. So again, it's my running wolves and flying hawks. They do radiant damage, and it's half speed for anything that's moving into or within my spirit guardians circle.
So assuming you're standing in the centre of the clearing when it goes off, your spirit guardians cover the entire clearing, plus a little bit into the edge of the forest. The clearing has a 2.5 foot diameter, radius, whereas my circle of protection is a 5 foot radius circle.
And if we're staying in your circle of protection, we'll be within my spirit guardians.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so I will say Hildebrand's spell goes off just before the boars actually reach you.
Okay, so are we getting initiative attack, or is there...
I pre-did your initiative based on your perception.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah.
That works.
So at which point I'll be getting, what is Genric's perception?
If I remember correctly, it's pretty good.
Passive perception, because you, most of them did passive.
Passive perception, when I get to the right part,
is 10 plus your perception bonus.
19.
The half speed is only creatures of my choice, so we can go full speed in the Spirit Guardians, by the way.
Okay.
Did you have advantage or expertise on your perception at all?
No, I just have plus 9.
Right, have that. Because passive, if you've got advantage or expertise, so I think you auto bonuses onto your passive.
Yeah, so passive is 8 plus your proficiency. If you're proficient in perception, it's 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your wisdom. Wisdom modifier.
It's just 10 plus your skill modifier, which includes your proficiency and your
attribute.
I thought it was 8, not 10.
No, because the idea is that it's supposed to be the average roll.
Okay, cool.
10 of the D20. So.
When you're talking about if you're talking about DCs, the DCs are generally based on 8 because D&D wanted to really mess with people who use numbers.
Well, in theory, it also then meant that yes, you technically had a slightly better chance to pass DCs in general rule because your defensive were normally based on 10 plus.
Oh, I forgot to change my damage dice for my scimitars. Shit, and I just threw out my stuff. Because with expertise and stuff, I get extra damage dice down.
You do. Expertise would mean you have 2 extra dice. Okay, so You see one of these big boars come charging through the forest. What happens when they reach the Spirit Guardian zone?
If they, at the moment they enter the Spirit Guardian zone, they take 4d6 damage if they don't pass a Wisdom check.
Okay.
And my Wisdom and my spell DC is 19.
Well, they get advantage.
It is magic.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they it passes through your zone without any effect.
Just check that it's not any effect or if it's half damage. Give me a second. It just says saving throw. It doesn't say anything about half damage, so I'm assuming that they're still half speed. So yeah, it may not damage them, but it's still half speed.
And it looks like it's coming right for you.
Of course they are. Do I get to attack before they hit me, or are they attacking me?
It is their action. As you see the tip of its tusk stop about an inch away from your face.
So they don't hit me?
And then sparks arc up over 10 feet above you.
Okay.
It seems to have looked as if it hit a solid wall.
Wisdom save half damage, so I still do 4d6 halved. Sorry, I just triple checked that. So they're still taking 10 damage, so 5 damage each. Or just the one who's moved into us or whatever. Is it all of them or one particular?
That was just one of them. Another one comes and charges from the other direction. Coming in, lining up for Genric. Which made it saving through.
So again, 5 damage. Radiant. So does Radiant have an effect? Does Radiant have any effect on them?
A small amount. You see some of their hairs smoke.
Okay, do they seem to be taking extra, normal damage, even though they're making the saves, or?
They take less damage than you expect.
Okay.
And that one also stops about an inch away from Genric. Next one comes charging in. And appears to completely move past your Spirit Guardians as if they weren't there.
So do they save? Do they get any damage, or?
They get no damage.
You probably got a natural 20 on the save.
Oh, God. And who are they aiming for?
And this one is aiming for Dimitri.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you join me on the flying carpet?
I am wondering that.
And it also slams into the barrier around you, and you see between the three of them hitting the barrier looks as if it's starting to crack.
Is this the magic circle barrier?
It is the magic circle barrier. It did stop them.
Yeah, okay.
I do have a way to give us all about a 30-foot high advantage over them.
You also see that these boars at full height stand at about 15 feet.
They are big boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They are large creatures. Okay, so at this point it is Dimitri's go.
I will cast Fly.
Peter Pan.
You asked the question as to why I didn't jump on the carpet. I say, well, because
Yeah, that's good.
the carpet's slow, and I say, yeah.
Leave me as the only target on the ground. I cannot take 20 from the diable.
You got gimmick there as well.
And how long?
So does Dimitri
Bring you up with me.
does Dimitri upcast it so we can cast it on the other two?
Why would you do that?
That's what I thought I'd
The others
ask.
had the others had the opportunity to go on the carpet if they wanted to. Obviously, I had reasons to not be on the carpet. So, I wouldn't want to interfere with their plan. So one action task for the fly, and then we will move straight up. So we're staying within the cylinder of the magic circle.
Well, you do know is
We'll go
once
for
you get over 10 feet, you have risen above the circle, I believe.
Magic circle or
The magic circle,
Yeah,
I believe, is a cylinder.
Yeah, so it's a 10-foot area. The shape of the cylinder, which this link did not immediately tell me exactly how high a cylinder would normally go.
It's
But I can quite-
it's the height of its radius.
10 foot? Yeah, that would make sense. Well, if the height of the radius, that would actually make only a 5-foot cylinder.
Sorry, I mean,
So the area.
yeah, the area.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's fine. Because, hey, they don't necessarily know the cylinder doesn't go up too high. They ran into something. So, but, okay, if I take it, if there's AOs coming at me, we'll take the car.
There is no AOs going up against you.
Okay?
Mainly because
okay.
even at 15 feet or 20 feet above the ground, you haven't left their area of effect.
Understandable. Yep. They can attack at disadvantage. Not because of the circle, but because of the close displacement.
Displacement. Yes, but they don't attack until you get to 25 feet.
Okay.
How high do you go?
I would probably say going about 40 feet high.
Okay, so one of them does try to attack you.
Yep.
Okay, so he misses.
Okay. And then I will, keep going up to my 40 feet, and let's use that study from college, and we'll try just a quick firebolt down the one that tries to attack me, saying, hey, down boy, good boy. Confirming firebolt is a attack spell.
It's a range attack spell, yes.
Yeah. 15 plus. Where am I broadcasting? AC 30.
That is definitely a hit.
Glad to hear it. Might be concerned if it wasn't. So, damage is 18. Yes. 19 plus 8 for fire affinity. 27 points of fire damage.
Okay, as you hit it with the flame, you see it seems to get slightly bigger.
Okay.
Looks like you have given it better health.
Yep. I'll confirm to the telepathic bonds, going, yep. I do fire.
Generic groans.
Edward wasn't planning on using fire.
No, they're fine, but okay. If you want to deliberately use one of these electrify 12, did you give it that test run?
Okay, another boar comes in and runs at the circle of protection. And it takes a few points of damage from the guardians.
So it's either 10 for a fail or 5 for a not fail.
They are resistant, so it is a 2 points of damage.
Yeah.
On a fail. So 2 points of damage on a successful save.
They're resistant to radiant damage.
Yep.
Are they fiends?
Technically, no, but some fiendish magic does work. Some anti-fiendish magic does work on them, just not radiant.
Okay.
We'd be white made to put up protection, obviously.
You got lucky. And
it was all planned.
okay, so when the fourth one hits the barrier, you see it start to crack, and then you see another one come charging in. Okay, it seems to take a little more damage than the others, so it takes 5 points.
The last one, who was it aiming for, or did it just run in?
Running in at the barrier.
So it didn't aim for anybody in particular?
It wasn't aiming for anyone in particular.
It was going for the barriers to flash it down. So.
Cool.
And as the fifth one hits the barrier just starts to buckle and fall apart. Dimitri feels the spell crumble. Yeah.
Okay. He still gets to keep the temporary hit points that provide him.
It is now Trellin's turn.
You know. Come on, Trellin. Get that bow working.
Well, I go after Vermin because he also got 19, and I'll defer to him.
Oh, you mean Genrick?
Yes.
Was my story throwing up Spirit Guardian? Is that my go?
That was your go.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so it looks like Trellin has waited for Genrick, so Genrick's up first.
Does children want uppies?
How far?
Explode it away!
I can do shit from 30 feet away, but it takes them out of... Yeah, I can do... Let's try it. You can always bring me back down if I need it.
Oh, yeah, good. It is 1 minute. It is not 1 minute, it's 1 action. I was just checking how long it takes to cast. Okay, so I'm now considering this might not be the best idea.
I'm happy to stay down. Most of my attacks are better at down, but I do have some distance magic.
So the spell that I'm planning on casting is Bones of the Earth, which creates 6 pillars, but since I have the staff, it casts at a higher level and will create 2 extra ones, so 8. So it makes 8 pillars that are 5 feet in diameter and 30 feet high. Well, I can bring them up to 30 feet. I can make Hildren's lower, if she wants to be lower. I can only place them under creatures that are medium or smaller, so I can't place them under the boars. The part that's concerning me is that these pillars only have an AC of 5 and 30 hit points. And so they can easily be destroyed by...
Yeah.
And falling 30 feet might be an issue.
Yeah.
I've got slow fall, which reduces any damage by 60 points.
Yeah, you're the carpet not planning on falling down with the stone.
That's what I'm put up.
If I need to, I can levitate. I can't cast levitate on anybody else, but I can levitate.
So, Generic does the Pillars of Stone.
How much space do I have?
Well, there is... you can probably get 4 pillars in the center of where the circle was.
So that would give me 4 pillars to place outside of the circle.
Oh, the circle's down now anyway.
And what's the radius on your casting of that spell?
I can cast it. I can put the pillars anywhere within 120 feet of me.
So yes, you can create blocking bits amongst the trees.
Yeah. So I'll place like 4 pillars underneath me and Hildren, yes, since he would be standing next to me.
Yeah, I'm standing close to you.
Yeah. So I'll do the 4 pillars underneath us and then place the other 4 just scattered around where I can place them.
Okay, you feel the earth move as Generic really does make the earth move for Hildren.
You would move Earth for you, but would not let the world burn.
Yeah.
Not there yet. Not implying that he does want to go there.
I was gonna say, wouldn't you want the world to burn?
Yeah.
Depends on which part of the world. That's the important bit. Okay, so with that is now Trellan's go, and you can see 4 really easy to get targets.
Well, I only have 2 arrows, but let's go. So that's 28.
Yep.
And so that'll be 31 damage, so 62 damage.
62 damage, yes. The first one you hit with the arrow, it pierces it, and you see the boar collapse in upon itself until there's nothing left.
Nice.
Which boar is that one?
One of the ones near the pillar.
Oh, no, there's a lot of them.
We've currently got 5 around us.
Now there's 4.
Okay, cool.
Alright, so the next one was 31.
Okay, so that is also a hit.
Oh. 4 on 3. Yeah.
What's the total?
23 damage, so it becomes 46.
I mean, what was the total with the attack roll, with the 2 rolls?
31.
31?
It was all good up until the damage roll.
Okay.
If you hit with advantage with your magic arrow, and they both rolls hit, it's automatically critical.
That's right. But so when I doubled the damage, it was still 46.
Okay.
Okay, so you hit the second one, and it also collapses a bit in on itself.
Nice work.
So there's nobody left behind.
Yeah.
Watch those bodies, because they may not die at earlier points.
Well, that's a good thing. You can't watch the body because the body completely disintegrates.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if they don't disintegrate, don't assume.
Yes.
Yeah.
Heal up.
Okay, so one of the boars comes charging out into the forest, and strikes one of the new pillars that had come up, and you see it just shatter.
One of the ones under Generic or the other 4?
One of the other 4.
Okay. So that creates 10-foot raise of difficult terrain around where it was.
That's not.
A second of the pillars get shattered.
If the pillars are shattering, would that be counted as mountainous? Would that link to my mountainous favourite terrain, and I wouldn't count it as difficult
The
terrain?
pillars are that big.
Nice try, but it's still mainly forest.
Okay.
I appreciate the try though. So yes, the 4 pillars on the outside got shattered in this round.
Yeah.
Am I one of those, Generic?
You're in one of the center ones, not the outside ones.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Other thing to note is that you have the option to not go up on the pillar and make a dexterity save if you didn't want to go up.
No, I can go up.
Yeah.
My dex saves are good.
Which brings us to a new round, and it is Hildren.
If I'm still up, what I'm going to do is cast back away from us, so if we do fall, we don't fall into it. I'm going to cast Shattering Barrage around the 3 boars that are furthest away from us, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So I create 3 orbs of jagged broken glass and hurl them at targets within range. I can hurl it at one target or several. I have to make a ranged attack for each orb. On a hit, target takes 2d slashing damage and shards of broken glass remain suspended in midair, filling the area they occupy 5 feet of space that they occupy if the creature is large or larger. With the shards of suspended broken glass. When a creature enters the area of broken glass for the first time or starts its turn there, it must succeed on a dex save or take 2d4 slashing damage.
That sounds good.
In fact, that's a level 2 spell, I might cast it at a level 3, so I actually have 4 orbs.
Well, remember you do also have the higher slots than you can cast.
Yeah, well, I don't think I want to cast that higher. Like, I cast, and that, it's not a concentration, so I still have my Spirit Guardians up, and they follow me.
Yep.
So if they're 15 feet tall, how high are the pillars, Generic?
30 feet.
So if we fall, the Spirit Guardians fall with us and would damage on their way down.
You'll also be in difficult terrain if we
Yeah.
on the ground.
That's okay, I'm not planning on moving. And the Spirit Guardians half movement for anybody other than us. So I need to make 4 attack rolls for the orbs. It's a ranged attack roll, so it would be the same as my longbow, wouldn't it?
Depends if you have bonuses with your longbow. The ranged attack is generally dexterity plus proficiency for spell attacks.
Alright, so that would be, 11. So I've got a plus 11 to this. First one is 13, I'm guessing that's a miss, but I think it still shatters.
It is
So
a
it
miss.
doesn't do the initial damage, but it still shatters. 13 again. What the frick, dice? I doubt that one hits. That's a 15. Come on.
No, you missed all 3 times so far.
Yeah, my dice are betraying me. I missed all 4 times, but I'm fairly sure they still explode, so they still do the remaining.
Quick question: did you add your bonus for attacking monstrosities?
I did not. So it would be 13 and 16.
The 16 hits.
So 2 of them hits.
Good thing
Excellent.
I remembered that part.
Thank you. I had that noted down for my melee attacks, and it didn't consider it for my ranged spell attack. So that means they've got a 16 AC. So 2 of them take 2d4 slashing damage, and if any of them enter the area of the broken glass, so it's, since I've done 4, there's an area of a 20-foot area that's filled with broken glass, and anything that enters or starts their turn there take an extra 2d4 slashing damage.
Shall you roll your damage dice?
I can do that. Oh, and that lasts for a minute, and it's not concentration.
Always good to have many of those up.
So that's...
concentration either. Mention that.
It's not much damage, it's only 4 damage, but it's damage.
They still did more than your spirit guardians against most of the targets.
Yep, and it's slashing. That's the other reason I thought of it. It's slashing, not magical.
Mm-hmm. Well, magic creates it, but it doesn't do the damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the 3 in the center attack the pillars.
Did they start their turn in the Shattering Barrage?
You said you attacked the ones furthest from you?
Yeah, okay, so they're not in it?
They're not in it. And apparently all 3 of them destroy a pillar. Do you jump onto the one remaining pillar?
Yes.
Does Hilderon jump on the one remaining pillar and share the space?
No, I'll drop.
Okay. Do you have anything to help you dropping? Is your levitate a reaction?
No, it's an action. But I've got decent dex save.
Well, if you're trying to grab onto the side of the pillar, I give you a dex save. Otherwise, you're just dropping with the rest of the pillar.
I can't land and reduce damage in my landing.
You can do an acrobatics check to do so.
You should effectively attempt to jump off rather than fall.
Yeah, that would be sort of what I was thinking. And if it's jumping, is it athletics or acrobatics?
Acrobatics is not more about landing. Athletics is more about jumping. So, describe which one suits you more.
Athletics suits me more. I'm just thinking about how.
With the
Like,
athletics,
acrobatics makes me think Spider-Man. Athletics makes me think superhero. You know, the 3-point superhero landing.
I was going to think of the fact that, yeah, athletics is important to jump in the sense that it helps you jump further. I would think that potentially acrobatics is reasonable when the really important part is not how far you're jumping, but how well you're landing.
Well, with athletics, you might be able to clear one of the boars. With acrobatics, you might be able to reduce the damage you take.
Or of course, just land on a boar, then you have to go forward far.
I'm happy to do acrobatics.
Okay.
And then you've got a close target that can't escape you if you're standing on top of it.
Very true. Dice jail. What was a critical fail?
A critical fail. Okay. So yes, you seem to dive right down and realize, hey, that's a tusk.
Alright, how much damage am I taking?
Well, I just have to roll a number of d8s.
You've got to roll a d8 first to work out how many d8.
I've only got 3, and I need to roll 5.
So that is 24 piercing damage.
Yeah, I can handle that. I'm still over 100.
And you feel the part where you were hit by the tusk burn strangely.
Would I know that you said they could mark?
You have been marked.
Would I know if that's a curse or?
It is literally a curse.
So I don't have to worry about it now, but I might be able to remove it later.
Oh, it means that you are now easier for other of these creatures to hit you, and they will deal more damage.
It's literally the Ranger's Hunter's Mark type effect.
Yeah.
Except it is shared amongst them.
If they all die, then that's over.
No,
It's
it's
not gonna worry you.
any other of their people hit you, it still works.
Oh, okay.
It's
Unless I
not.
remove
In
it.
the immediate situation, it's you don't get hit this combat or try to avoid being attacked.
But yes, you'll be easier hit and take more damage.
Okay, so that was that turn. That means we're up to. I believe we're up to Dimitri's turn now.
I think I'm pretty certain I was one or two behind.
Yeah, no, but the 3 die boars between you and me just went.
Yep, that is correct.
I mean, like, but I was thinking, I must be close because I was only 1 or 2 numbers behind you. So the and so yeah. So now you're on the ground or on a board, touched on one or two. But
Yep.
so
She's
I
about
almost
15.
wouldn't
She's
go with-
about 15 feet above the ground.
Yeah. How long are those tentacles?
That means she's not on the ground.
No, I'm not on the ground.
But I think you technically would still be counted as being bludgeoned by the tentacles if I cast tentacles down there.
I believe
So
tentacles
instead-
go about 10 feet, not 15.
Well, it doesn't give it just like you pretty put square. It doesn't give a size for the tentacles or things like that. It just says that fill the ground within the area turning difficult terrain. When they start in the area or enter the first time, they take lightning damage and restrained, unless they pass a deck saving throw. Yeah, so I will avoid them just now, and instead we'll take advantage of the fact that. Sorry, Adam, what's your character's name again? It's gone over. I keep trying to think of it. It's gone overhead.
Hildred.
Hildred, yes. I'll take advantage of the fact that Hildred is within 5 feet of one of the boars, so I'll just take a pot shot with my crossbow.
Ah, you're a rogue, of course.
Yeah. AC 24.
Okay, that is a hit.
Yeah, the AC, based on what passed for the Shattering Barrage, their AC is 16.
Ah, okay. So with my plus 15, probably gives me a fair chance to hit.
Yeah.
There's a 1 in 20
Oh.
chance that you won't.
That's right. And another crush, another tactic, and blending stuff. I haven't got on there. Okay, so 8, 10, 18, 28. Wow! Sorry, I lost track when I realised there were 3 8s in my 68. So 24, 34, 36.
Are you aiming at the one that I'm on?
Yes, because it has to be within a certain
The
distance.
one within 5 feet, yeah.
Cool, yep.
And what to say, 24, 34, 36, 43 points of magical piercing damage.
Okay, you see Dimitri do the ping with his little crossbow as it seems to go straight through the boar's head, and next thing you know, Hildren is going right towards the ground again.
Finishing off that fall when it was uninterrupted.
I don't get hurt from a 15-foot drop, do I?
You get hurt from a 10 feet drop.
Okay. Can I make another acrobatics save, or just...
You can, and if you do, you will reduce the fall by 5 feet.
I think I'm resistant to terminal velocity.
That one's better. Natural 20.
Okay, so with the natural 20, you take no damage from the fall as you manage to do the perfect roll at the perfect time. Just as the boar's mouth closes where you were.
Awesome.
And
Is
then
it
you
disintegrated, or is there still a body?
Well, it doesn't disintegrate, it seems to fold into itself.
Okay, so it implodes.
It does.
Sort of.
Until there's nothing left.
Oh yeah, that answers my question. I was going to ask, is the body still there?
There are no dead bodies. No little flames of joy to go through.
I don't think I'm in range of it anyway.
Okay. I can work with this.
Dimitri, does he do any other actions with his turn?
No, I'm high enough where I am, and I get the one shot with the crossbow at a time because it's got the load action. So.
I also passed my concentration check.
Okay, so
So
one.
Spirit Guardians are up.
That is good. One of the creatures comes and charges Hildebrand. And takes half damage from the Spirit Guardians and then attacks. Apparently, you managed to stop the massive blow by just existing.
Awesome. I was going to say, I have an AC of 22.
Well, he managed to hit armor class 7. So apparently, whatever you're standing on completely stopped the boar's charge mid-charge.
Never got witness of the magic circle still up.
Yes, I'm sure.
I'm sure you can thank Dimitri for that.
Well, just if you can thank Dimitri for the fact that he got you off the tusk of the ball.
Yo, I'm very thankful for that.
There's also so much difficult terrain down there. They're going to move so slowly towards you, but you're also not going to be able to run away.
Oh, I don't mind not being able to run away, and actually I have things that'll give me extra movement if I need it.
Okay, another boar comes charging at you from another direction. That one's going to hurt a little bit.
It's a nat 20?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to take...
That's okay.
I'm going to take damage no matter what, but I'm going to use one of my combat maneuvers.
Yep.
When a creature makes a critical hit against me, I can use my reaction to make a melee weapon attack against it.
Okay. So, because the critical hit is, I believe, it's before damage is dealt.
It's a reaction, so...
Would I still get the advantage from Trellan's marking stuff?
You do.
Well, you've also got your advantage for attacking your favourite enemy too, so...
That would be a 30...
30 plus is probably a hit.
It's probably a critical hit.
It will be a critical hit.
I think that...
Yeah, I rolled a 13 plus 18 plus 1. So 40, 32?
32 is good.
So is that counted as a critical hit?
It is counted as a critical hit.
Okay.
What difference is it in? Is it you want to resolve the devil whatever her, and then she resolves.
Yeah, I'd do the damage to me first, and then I retaliate.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a big thing in the sense that reaction, like the shield spell's a reaction you can do against the magic missile to block it. So.
Okay, so it will be 48 damage.
Yeah, I can take that. That would be... And in return, I am doing 12 plus 12. And I double before I add the damage modifier? Or including the damage modifier?
Including the damage modifier.
So that's 48 thunder damage, and I push it 10 feet away.
Okay, as you hit it with thunder, it seems to all damage it. Doesn't seem to be resistant or immune to thunder. As it flies into the post that's holding up Genric.
I thought I was between Genric's post and the boar, but I didn't try to jump over it.
Well, it does have a very big head.
Okay. So did 48 take it out, or?
It seems to also disappear as well.
Alright.
The pillar or the boar?
Well, the boar and the pillar is just shaking. It hasn't actually snapped.
That's good, I think.
Well, Hildron did make the earth move for you.
So thunder damage works.
Thunder
Excellent.
damage works.
Oh, and no, that didn't. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to keep track of the spirit guardians, the shattered barrage, and everything.
I did put damage on him before he charged you, which made him easy to kill.
Cool.
Genric is now up. Shaken but not stirred.
So there are not... That is a very big area of effect.
There is two that you can see. One next to the pillar and one looking around for targets, but apparently hasn't seen you yet.
Yeah. Would I be able to position a cylinder that is 10 feet tall and has a 60-foot radius and not hit any of my allies?
As long as you define ally.
Well, okay.
Everybody except Dimitri. Maybe Hilton.
Well, I'm going to be anything that actually put up in the air.
Well, there's some further back, so the ones that I hit with my shattering barrage, would he be able to hit those without hitting us?
Two of those charged you.
Okay.
And the last one is the one that's confused because it couldn't figure out where people were.
So we're down to 2 diabors.
You are down to 2 aggressive diabors at this stage.
Are they in the same initiative, or there's one in each initiative?
They're at the same initiative.
But we also, the original understanding, there was probably at least a couple of dozen out in the forest, wasn't there?
Oh, there was 20.
There was at least 20 you could see, but not all of them charged and attacked.
Only
I
5
just no
attacked.
on the giant ale either.
Okay, so yes, you believe you can get one or the other of them in the radius, but not both. Unless, of course, you put yourself in the radius, in which case then, yes, you can get both.
Well, I'm 30 feet up and the cylinder's only 10 feet tall, so if I position it on the ground, it won't hit me. So I think
It
Wood's the only one in danger of that.
will probably destroy your pillar if it does enough damage to do so, in which case it still may affect you.
Yes.
I don't want to fall 30 feet.
And don't your spells specifically say that it's only 10 foot tall?
Yeah. It takes the shape of a cylinder that is 10 feet tall with a 60-foot radius. That's
So 120
very
foot
large.
diameter.
Yeah.
Yes, 120 foot diameter, and we're in a 15 foot diameter clearing.
So you're going to hit quite a few trees with that one, but I'm sure that's fine.
I can clean up the fire later.
Oh, it's a fire spell too, right?
Oh, no, it's a lightning spell, but, you know, that's how bushfires are started most of the time.
Okay, so go for tell me the details as you cast it.
Or try something different.
And then I've been on that pillow long enough. I'll probably come down.
Is it going to hit me?
Probably.
Well, if
Because,
he can target it in such a way that he only gets the two boars and not you and some of the boars in the forest.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that then.
I'm on 59 hit points. I'm not, like, that's not bad,
But the
Really,
downside
that's
is
3d10.
he will hit himself while doing so.
Yeah, I'll do that one and destroy my pillow.
Mm-hmm.
If I roll high enough. Because it only does 3d10 damage, which still has 30 hit points.
You might get lucky.
Well,
Either do maximum damage and destroy my pillow, or not maximum damage and I'm still on my pillow. I'm okay with this.
Is there a saving throw for taking less damage?
Yes, a dexterity saving throw of 17.
Okay, so your pillow will get a critical hit.
Yay.
It fails its dex saving throw.
yeah.
He doesn't get a
He's
dice.
fucking dog. He's fucking dog.
He technically gets a 0.
That's an interesting one. Is there a little special condition? The special condition for if I cast it during a thunderstorm, or if I take control of the thunderstorm.
well,
Yeah,
I'm not calling lightning because I'm not sure if lightning damage will do anything to
So
me.
what's the spell called?
Or lightning.
Cool Lightning.
Ah,
So Cool Lightning doesn't actually fit everything in that area. It creates an area where the storm is effective, and then you pick one target to be hit as a bonus.
Yeah.
So the target you actually select is everything within 5 feet of it takes lightning damage. So you don't actually affect everything in that range. You can center it on yourself, and you go out in all directions around you.
That's right. Yeah. You got a 50-foot radius around you in which you can target creatures with lightning bolts.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
I choose the boar that is probably closest to us.
Okay, you can target that as your main boar.
Not the Hitler.
not the one next to me, please.
The one that is closest to us.
You can target the rear of it so it's not going to hit Hilderan.
Thank you.
Yeah. Because I'm picking a spot, not a creature.
That is correct.
Yeah. So it makes the saving throw stuff.
It gets advantage.
Oh no.
Okay, what's your DC?
17.
Okay, it takes half damage. So roll your 3d10. Did you cast it at higher level, which I should have asked before you cast?
No, I did not.
In which case it is still 3d10.
27.
Okay, so half of that is 13.
Yeah, 13. No, the wrong way.
Okay, it seems to not get reduced in damage as it strikes the boar. You have found a second element that does not reduce, meaning that it is harmed by air-based magic. Very, very frightening.
Scaramouche, Fandango.
Just plain magical weapons are fine.
That's right.
Okay, so that brings us to Trellin. There are two boars you can see easily outlined by your wondrous spell. Well, magic effect.
Are they impaired?
Both of them are damaged.
Are they what? Are they not damaged?
Both are damaged.
They're both damaged.
One has just been shocked in the butt, and the other one is confused by swirling glass.
Well, I'll use this 1 point from my Kenzai action pool to do an extra 1d4, and it's up until the end of the turn.
Yep.
So, 34.
That is a critical hit.
32, so 64.
Okay.
And
Which so you were attacking the one closest to the party or furthest from the party?
whichever one was most... whichever one was most healthy.
Okay, the furthest from the party.
Okay. Did it blow up?
You hit it and it collapses in upon itself again, removing it from the field.
Okay, cool. That one's 31.
That's also a critical hit.
Yes. 68.
And it also disappears, leaving all the combatants out of play.
Alright.
You hear the sound of hoofs going off into the distance. Apparently the rest of them didn't want to play with people who were nasty.
I mean, I can fly over there. It doesn't... Oh, okay.
I like you, Dimitri.
I can fly up and...
The real problem, of course, is that unfortunately we haven't got roast pork for dinner.
And from Tron's perspective, you can see them fading into the Fey Dark as they run away.
Okay. Alright. I don't think I want to venture into the Fey Dark.
Yeah, we got a light.
So yes, you are now out of combat. Unfortunately, no trophies. Except for Hilderan, who has
Mark.
2 curses now.
2 curses?
Yep,
Is there a way to...
I only got hit.
twice.
Is there a way to remove those curses?
You had the old curse of that which you hunt now hunts you or something like that.
No, I got
You got hit
I
twice.
took damage. Trying to remember what the first hit.
One.
Yeah, no, he got hit twice.
Yep, you did get hit twice.
So, would I know if remove curse would work?
You would have to remove each curse, and there's no guarantee it will remove them.
But would I know if they have or not?
You will know because you can physically
I
see
can
the
feel
curse
it.
on you. You are branded with the symbol of Orcus in 2 places.
Yeah, I want to get rid of that. Does anyone have remove curse prepared?
Well, Dimitri can do it as a ritual in a minute or so.
But you do
Oh, I
know.
can do it as a ritual, can't I?
You also know they will fade within 24 hours.
Oh, cool.
But we are in the middle of the forest.
Can I do it as a ritual?
You can.
And we were planning on stopping for the night anyway, so might as well do the ritual to clear it.
Yeah, I would
Oh,
really
can
like
you
to.
do that?
I would really like to get rid of the curses from Orcus.
Assuming that it's not like there's not specific or difficult material components.
I don't need material components because I can use my holy symbol.
Fair enough.
So, like, I'd be happy for you to try as well. But
Exactly. Well, it's just verbal and semantic. There's no material components at all, so. So to make you happy to do it, it takes him a minute to cast it, and therefore 2 minutes to cast it twice if you want.
it would be the same for me. So, why don't you try? And if that doesn't work, I'll try.
If you like.
You believe it require a 6th level spell slot equivalent, meaning you need to upcast your curse as a 6th level ritual.
I don't have access to that.
If you know the ritual, you can upcast it. It just makes it more difficult.
But do you need to actually have a spell slot of 6th level?
No.
Okay.
Uh,
So, yeah, if you want to try it, Dimitri, and then like if you can't do it, then I can try. But it's going to be harder for me to do it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, Dimitri's only got he hasn't got a 6th level spell slot either, so yeah, we'll give it a try. Just like I say, I would have thought that. Have you got a special ability cast to ritual in a minute? Because normally it would take 10 minutes, but.
Oh, no, then yeah, I would be doing 10 minutes. I don't have anything other than the ability to cast rituals.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jeremy, give me a Arcana roll.
Arcana roll. And then,
Can you cast 6 level spells?
no.
In which case it also increases the DC.
Yeah.
Just so you know, that makes it a DC 27. It is twice the spell level, plus 5 if it is beyond what you can cast.
Okay, well, I rolled under 10, so therefore I will take 10 for an Arcana check, which gives me 10 plus 14 for Arcana plus D6 for expertise, gives me 29.
Okay, so yes, you do manage to pull off a miraculous remove curse, because that would also remove a rare item level affliction. Oh, sorry, very rare item level affliction.
So he can't. So Dimitri can't roll less than a 29.
No, it can't roll less than 25.
Okay.
And yes, so the you feel one of the curses go.
Okay, I'll try it again then. Again, under 10. The D6 is only a 3 this time though, but that gives 57.
Which is the exact number you needed to remove it.
I mean, if you didn't want to put any extra effort in.
Thank you, Dimitri.
And how much Dimitri splaining did you do while committing the ritual?
Oh, constant.
Well, it explains exactly how it's done, what the process is, because obviously you're learning how to do this ritual business. And with, of course, the odd ambition to jump on vortex again, it's not good for your health.
Stop being a wanker, Dimitri.
Do I get another inspiration point for my destiny?
Because Dimitri explained exactly what you should be doing. I think so.
Technically, you do get another inspiration point for facing the boars.
Sweet.
And as we're now at 10:45, I'm going to ask, would you like to add anything before we finish up for the night?
I'm going to check on the fact that you can only actually have one inspiration point at a time, can't you?
Technically, you can't hold them between sessions, as far as I know.
Okay. Well, actually, I thought it was fact, yeah, you can only actually have one. Inspiration would only something you can hold one of at any one time, so
it doesn't even matter. And if I can't...
Yeah.
And if I can't keep it between sessions, having the one from today doesn't matter.
If it's only one, you can keep them between sessions. If you can have more than one, then I believe they disappear, depending on which.
Yeah.
There are a few different things in there.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that you can only have one inspiration point at any one time.
So this price 0 is irrelevant, but it doesn't count towards the negative thing that you're talking about. So that was confusing.
I think I would just be settling down for a long rest. And I would be advising setting up a watch.
I can, so I'm alert and I can float on the flying carpet and watch, and Dimitri can do me the honour of having an alarm spell.
Okay, so inspiration does actually retain between sessions. You either have inspiration or you do not.
Okay, so you can't double up on it.
That
Sweet.
is correct.
We don't need all those extra spells. I can do one, which will set up a nice safe area for us to sleep.
And
Like,
which
I'm
space
happy
area
to-
does Generic create?
He's going to use Druid Grove and set up a little miniature grove.
That is awesome, because that's actually the safest thing you could do in this forest. If you used extra dimensional spaces, it would have been bad.
Yeah, so bunch of fog, overgrown things. I just read the spell. I'm trying to remember what it does.
So in this forest, both the Fey Dark and the Fey Wild will protect a Druid's Grove.
Yeah. All trees around us become animated and will protect us.
Dimitri will certainly put up the alarm spell anyway. Get real protection.
Okay, anything else you'd like to add before we finish up for tonight?
I'll probably sleep solidly for the 8 hours I need, and then if we're still waiting, take watch, because I'm going to be on my usual high alert in this space, particularly after being attacked by boars.
And being marked.
Yep. No, I am very paranoid right now.
All good. How about Generic? He got anything else to add before we finish?
Knowing one rat children doesn't need healing.
How about Trellin?
I didn't have any damage.
Hey, after a long rest, you wouldn't have any damage either.
No, I don't have any damage.
Yeah.
And Dimitri?
Yeah, he's good.
Okay, so going to end credits and then chat to you after.